and I will tell you, welcome to campaigns. I'm David Johnston, which you already know, normally Senior Vice President of Strategic Communications for the KU Alumni Association. But of course tonight, more appropriately, I'm a lecturer in Strategic Communications. And I've had the honor of working with these outstanding students for the duration of the semester. And you're gonna hear from them tonight. Before I turn the microphone over to them.
You got a photo, pre-March there.
That's exactly right. That was not first day, but certainly first week of class. We've come a long way since then.
Indeed.
Before we get started, I do want to publicly thank Dean Brill and the School of Journalism faculty and staff who have really helped guide and mentor these students on their KU journey and throughout their academic careers. So a special thank you to those folks. For parents, family members, and friends who are going to watch this recording, they have every reason to be proud of these students for all that they have learned, all that they've overcome this year, and all that they will accomplish in their careers. I am equally proud, and I know the critical role that their love and support has played in their lives, so thank you. This semester, of course, has been a tale of two halves. The students were able to hear in the first half, of course, from alumni guests, graduates of the program who are eager to come back and share their wisdom and experience. They offered broader and in many ways better perspectives than I ever could, and it added immeasurably to the class. So thank you. Our students were also fortunate to tour the headquarters of a very well-run nonprofit organization and a global agency that opened its doors to our aspiring graduates. On behalf of the students, a heartfelt thank you to these dedicated professionals, and a special thanks to the team at VML Y&R for opening your doors to our Jayhawks.
Wow, I'm noticing that John's wearing his Head for the Cure
vintage.
That day. Well done.
That's right. That's right. He told us all about it. They were absolutely wonderful. That was such a great experience. And of course, last but not least, I have to thank our esteemed client, Head for the Cure. As you all know, and have heard me say before, last summer, I had the good fortune to bump into Harry while attending a conference. Now, for everybody who knows Harry, that's, you know what I'm gonna say next. He's one of those people who makes an instant connection with his infectious personality. And I didn't know how we would end up working together down the road, but I knew then, instantly, that our paths would cross in some kind of meaningful way. Fast forward to last fall, while I was making plans to teach this course, and the stars aligned. With Harry and his connection to Head for the Cure, I was able to check all the boxes that I can hope for in a campaign's client. Number one, a client with a meaningful purpose and a challenge that the students can really sink their teeth into. Two, the opportunity to visit places where these students might build their careers after graduation, whether in a nonprofit setting or at an agency. And three, the chance to meet professional role models and mentors, including alumni of this very program, who could inspire their careers. Harry introduced me to Jenna Heilman, the rockstar executive director for Head for the Cure, along with her amazing team. And through that process, of course, we met Matt Anthony, the inspirational founder of the Head for the Cure Foundation, who welcomed our class with open arms. On behalf of our students, I want to express our deepest gratitude to our Head for the Cure clients team, Executive Director Jenna Heilman, Board Member Harry Campbell, and Founder Matt Anthony. The challenge you all gave us was pretty straightforward. It was to build a community of support for Head for the Cure that will increase revenue growth, strengthen relationships and continued giving, and expand awareness by creating and communicating a consistent brand experience. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to the client in case you have any comments you'd like to share with the students ahead of their presentations.
Well, I just know how hard you all have worked, and I got a chance to kind of talk to you all after everything happened, and we were resetting and gave you a little bit of an update on Head for the Cure, and I hope that you all found that message as a way to not be scared of new ideas and to really still use your imagination, because right now, imagination is what's pushing us forward. And I know that this year has really been an immense challenge, and you all have faced it with such grace and dignity and most importantly, passion and commitment to this project. So I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of our small organization. I can only imagine what it's been like for you the last 2 months as you've tried to realize what lies ahead, as we all have, but especially as new graduates. So I think you should really be proud of your accomplishments, and you all have a tremendously bright future ahead of you. And I hope you all can stay in touch, and we can follow your pathway as you all become successful young adults.
Thank you. Harry,
Harry,
Matt, yeah.
yeah, I'll make it just a quick comment. So what Jenna said for sure, and thank you all. I can't wait to see what you have to share with us and hear your words of wisdom. We feel really blessed that such talent at the dawn of your careers, sort of the end of college, but the dawn of your careers, that you picked Head for the Cure to really put so much energy into. So we're deeply grateful. And I agree. It's what you guys will always be, the class of 2020, right? So, oh, wasn't that the pandemic year? What was that like? So it's certainly not something that brings a lot of emotion, but I think perseverance is going to be your heart, that's for sure. So if you weren't resilient before this started, you must be now. And so, and I would offer this too, you know, your connection to us. I mean, all you have to do when you write us is remind us that you were in David's class, the capstone class that worked on Head for the Cure, and we'll do what we can. You know, there's no promises, but just remind us of that. And Jen and I and Harry, all of us are pretty willing with the right points of connection to provide at least a gateway. And you know, there's still a lot of connection to VML, but also as you choose your path forward, you know, whether it's nonprofit or agency or client side or something non-marketing, this experience hopefully will open doors for you emotionally and otherwise. So thank you again. I can't wait to hear what you have to say, and appreciate making this happen on Zoom. So it's not ideal, but we're all learning to perfect it. That's for sure. So, Harry?
Yep, I'll be real quick. I'm very fired up. I'm shaking my leg and I'm excited. And I'll tell you why. Two specific reasons. One is my personal connection to Head for the Cure, which I talked to you all about. I love this place, and anything you can do to help us is awesome. The second thing was I'm quite jealous. I have an undergraduate degree. I have an MBA from Indiana's School of Business, the Kelley School of Business. I never got to do anything remotely like this until my second semester of my first year of graduate school. And you all are getting an experience led by a teacher with real life experience and connecting with agencies and board, and you're doing a real life project. And don't take this shit minorly, man. This is a big deal. Excuse me, can I cuss?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of jealous about it, which makes it cool. I'm kind of just watching what's going to happen and just curious about this, because these are big deals with regard to your development as a professional. Let's go get them.
Yeah, cool. Well said.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you guys being here. Of course, I'm going to share my screen again and remind you guys, obviously, life threw us a curveball midway through the semester, and sometime during spring break, the world changed. So we had to look at the semester in two halves: the in-person class experience that maybe most of our students expected. And then there was the online, remote learning, social distancing, shelter-in-place, Zoom class experience, which was decidedly different. Needless to say, obviously, it's been a whirlwind for these students and frankly for all of us. So aside from the challenge of this course, this class was robbed of its final semester on campus and spending it with their classmates. And while I'm very proud of everything they've accomplished and the way they've all come together, when we started this journey, we had to acknowledge what was lost. So during our first online Zoom class, if you can remember that far back, I shared a video with the students, which they might appreciate even more now looking back at how we started this journey, because it really is truly amazing how far you've come. So bear with me. I'll cue this up.
Hello world, it's nice to meet you. I've been waiting for this moment to come my whole life. Hello world, the past is over. It's time for us to come together and make the future right. An epiphany one night, looking at the endless star-filled sky. The world is ours. The world is ours. 7 billion stars. We're all we are. 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 The world is ours. Hello world. The sun is rising. It doesn't matter who you are, the sun still sets the same. Hello world, undivided. Don't matter if you win or lose, it's how you play the game. The world is ours. The world is ours. 7 billion stars. We're all we are. 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 The world is ours. From the sky to the sea to the air that we breathe. From the depths of the earth to the stars. The world is ours, all ours. The world is ours, all ours. We're all we are. 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 The world is ours. 7 billion stars. We're all we are. 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 The world is ours.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's touching. Well done, man. Love that.
Well, without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to the class of 2020 for their final capstone presentations for strategic campaigns. Now, here's how it's going to work. We'll start with an overview of our research, which was conducted by the entire class, and then we'll proceed with each team, which will present for up to 15 minutes, leaving 5 minutes for questions, maybe 1 or 2 questions from the client. The 5 teams, of course, if you know your KU history, are represented by the historic Jayhawks, and they will present in the following order: 1941, 29, 23, 20, and we'll end with 12. And I'd like to take this time to remind everyone, please take a moment to mute your microphone, and students, turn off your video unless you are presenting so we can cut down on the distractions.
Hey, David, one quick thing for
Yeah.
my esteemed colleagues, my client colleagues, none of us like to talk very much. So do us a favor and hold us to the 5 minutes on the questions. Maybe we each just ask a question or two. So, and you know, I'm often talking to myself when I say things like that.
I will attest to that. Shut them up.
Oh, okay.
I do want to say one thing really quickly because I know we hate to talk, but John Holt did just send me a text message telling everybody good luck. He's doing a FaceTime or a live interview with Quentin Lucas, the mayor. So he just wanted to say thank you guys so much for all of your support.
Awesome.
Hey, Jenna, could you put some light on your face? You look like you're in the witness protection program.
No,
Right.
I'm in the basement there. I was trying not to get the light back there in people's eyes.
Okay, that's much better.
Well, folks,
you're much more illuminating now. That's
thanks to everyone for joining us. But at this point, I'm going to turn it over to the students who I know are eager to share with you some of the things that they've learned. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to the research team to give their research presentation.
great.
Students, the stage is yours.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys once again for choosing us as your partner. And so we first up, we have just a quick research presentation, as he said. But to begin, I just want to introduce the members of the research functional group. I'm Alex Hobelman from the 1920 team.
I'm Hannah Cruz from Team 1941.
I'm Laura McMullen from Team 1912.
I'm Meredith Chappell from Team 1923.
You guys are all well preserved for having, you know, at least 100 years under your belt. That's really impressive.
So yeah, like I said, we appreciate you guys coming and partnering with us for our class this semester. Like David said, it's not ideal to be doing this on Zoom, but we are confident that you will enjoy our presentations either way. To begin, just a quick disclaimer: due to COVID-19, we were limited on the amount of primary research that we could conduct, but like I said, we think you will be pleased either way. Next slide for me, please. Oh, perfect. No, that's right. Go back one, sorry. So to begin, for the people who might not know the Head for the Cure mission statement, it is to raise awareness and funding to inspire hope for the community of brain cancer patients, their families, friends, caregivers, and other supporters, while celebrating their courage, spirit, and energy. And then research will help to identify the various audience segments among stakeholders to determine their motivations, desires, concerns, and communication preferences with respect to the Head for the Cure and its cause. We seek to understand, awareness levels for events and resources, as well as motivators and obstacles to engagement, participation, and advocacy. Just a quick overview of what will take place during this research presentation. We will just start off with how we got here with methodology, then we'll go into the guest speakers and primary research that we conducted as a class. And following that, we will explain the secondary research that we collected. Then we'll conclude and open it up for questions. So during this semester, we had a number of guest speakers that we are grateful to have visited with. We started off with meeting Harriet and Jenna on a day where the class was filled with nerves and anxiety as we were finally meeting our client. Harry's humor quickly dulled our nerves and we knew we were in for a fun semester. And following Jenna and Harry, we met with John Holt, Mindy Lee, and Allison Long before meeting with Jan Eric Anderson for advice on each of our different presentations. So now we'll go into the research that was collected.
So we first met with Jenna and Harry on January 30th, 2020. They introduced Head for the Cure to the class and told us their positions on the board. Jenna is the executive director and Harry is a board member and top fundraiser. Head for the Cure started in 2003 and the foundation was formed in 2007. Their goals are to bring awareness, raise funds, and ignite hope. They talked about Head for the Cure's environment to be joyful and there is a sense of family and purpose.
I think some of the biggest takeaways from our visit to Head for the Cure focused on their budget. Learning from that budget is that it was actually always zero. And I think that was something none of us were expecting. This channeled into the idea that an event needed to cost 20% or less of what was funded. So essentially we learned that Head for the Cure needs to have ways to raise greater amounts of money while making the cost less. Next, we learned about Head for the Cure's audiences. This gave us an idea of who we needed to try to start targeting. As Head for the Cure's primary audience was middle-aged women, we still realized we needed to keep in mind that marketing in different cities would differ. And that's where the 5K came into play. Because cities respond to things differently, Head for the Cure needed media partners that people in given cities would respond to too. This would help drive an emotional connection. That emotional connection is and was really important, and we saw that at our site visit. The final thing we felt was really what we saw was how unit cohesion was so important at Head for the Cure. All the people were connected to the cause and the brand, and that meant a lot.
So the next person that came to speak with our class was John Holt. John spoke about how Head for the Cure is more than just a fundraiser. It advocates and provides resources for survivors and their families. The struggle is finding out where Head for the Cure fits into the grand scheme of things. Now, Brains for the Cure, on the other hand, is a place where you can push the envelope and provide other resources to people impacted. John spoke about his experiences at 5Ks as well, speaking on how they are designed to be fun for everyone, even if you are not running. He also emphasized how the team village, memorial wall, and educational tents were great things to have for people to check out pre-race. Having a local celebrity and John around at local 5Ks is a great way to gather local interest in your event. Finally, John mentioned that marketing on a college campus would be a great way to get recreational runners and student athletes involved in your events.
And we later spoke to Mindy Lee. She's a brain cancer survivor from Texas. She is associated with one of our classmates and she liked Head for the Cure on Facebook. So we interviewed her about brain cancer and her experience and then also just support groups in general. She's a supporter of Brain Power 5K and the Dr. Marnie Rose Foundation. So she has experience with prior nonprofit organizations related to brain cancer. She also explained that the community and connections are helpful for patients and they keep people loyal to an organization.
Our other interview is connected with Allison Long, a longtime supporter for Head for the Cure. And from our conversation with her, we found a few insightful details. So firstly is that those feelings of community, celebration, and encouragement keep her attending the 5K races. Secondly, we found that showing support can be a social act, as many members of Allison's church joined in after her involvement. Thirdly, she said it's important to communicate with donors the impact of their contribution and to know that their donation makes a difference in the organization. And lastly, she said that being at one of the 5K events feels like a mass celebration with hopeful ambiance and a feeling of connectedness.
So this is the secondary research breakdown. The account directors researched the client, the planning directors researched brain cancer, creative directors researched 5Ks, marketing communication directors researched the audience, research directors researched the competitors, and so did the presentation directors.
So to create a strong campaign, understanding the client is important and pretty much crucial, obviously. So our first section of secondary research focused on understanding them. Our biggest takeaways from this centered first around revenue. Something crucial we noticed was that Head for the Cure would benefit from donors that are giving for a long time rather than one big time payment. Second, we felt that Head for the Cure needed help to expand their audience. This would help provide more donations and solve that problem that we first noticed. Finally, we felt relating to Head for the Cure's website that more emphasis needed to be placed on their cause rather than 5Ks. The organization of the website currently tended to put more focus in the 5K than the purpose behind the cause, and we felt like the change to this could help with donations and visitors to the website. Overall, throughout our research, we learned much more about Head for the Cure and felt like we were able to start understanding the cause and building campaigns to help them.
And in regards to brain cancer, the research we found showed us that there seems to not be a lot of widespread knowledge about brain cancer itself. This is an aspect we all considered when we created our campaigns. And then it also made us realize that Brains for the Cure is an important resource for those diagnosed or those with a family member diagnosed. So it should be viewed as a strong element in the Head for the Cure brand. Very connected.
So this slide focuses on the information that we found about 5Ks and how to make them the best that they can be. Video content is a necessity to marketing, and emotions drive consumer behavior. Creation of quality video related to races and events may increase participation, donations, and overall brand awareness. Second, brain cancer/tumors affect every racial demographic. So funding may increase if Head for the Cure expands its reach to more centralized areas and new cities, making it more accessible to underrepresented groups. Third, utilizing local resources makes events more personable. Expanding local partnerships at each event may increase community awareness, involvement, and participation, specifically by seeking out local universities, school districts, faith organizations, and media outlets. Finally, other 5Ks provide ample information about Race Day. By providing local recommendations for events through their online platforms, Head for the Cure may assist participants and also create relationships with local businesses that otherwise would have been unaware of the details of the event.
Next up, we focused on research for our target audience. Firstly, we found that health professionals donate time, skills, and information instead of money. Secondly, around patient mental health, we found that a stable physician-patient relationship is an important factor that can lead to an overall experience. And that includes improved health outcomes, patient trust, or reduced medical errors. And thirdly, we found during the process of those diagnosed, family members may begin switching roles. The cancer patient may have to switch into a position that allows them to be taken care of rather than being a caretaker. And lastly, for our research about 5K participants, we found that their primary motivation to start running is for exercise, but other research shows that staying healthy, relieving stress, and weight concerns also play a role. We believe that maybe appealing to those benefits of running may be a good way to spark inspiration for the cause.
And so this slide is about the competitors and kind of what worked with them. Our key takeaways from the competitors are that giving is seasonally based. The end of the year is most common time for people to donate. Also, viral campaigns and fundraisers are most effective if they can reoccur every year to keep revenue coming in, but also your brand alive and known. Community involvement and outreach provides publicity and name recognition. For a nonprofit organization, you have to adapt your campaign for each local organization. For example, Kansas City is the Chiefs, Orioles. Everyone knows them for their barbecue and jazz music. Cohesive and strong brand imaging creates awareness and can lead to an increase in revenue as well. And our final key takeaways from all of our research are that the ease of navigation and accessibility for website visitors, consistency of brand, and community unification and diversification. And then, does anyone have any questions about our research?
You all will be provided with a copy of this research deck. So you've got this plus all of the sources that were gathered. You'll also see this research echoed throughout all of the presentations tonight as the groups borrowed these key concepts and applied them to their campaigns.
Great. Yeah. So your insights fed your colleagues. And is that how we're going to see the presentation unfold? So great. Okay. Jenna, I guess I have one big question. Was there any big sort of surprise in the research, either a surprise and delight or a surprise and go, wow, that I didn't expect that? What as you're digging in and researching and finding insights, what was the big surprise, if anything? Anyone can answer. So I'll call on somebody. Alex, since you led, so what was your surprise?
I didn't really think that anything stood out and was a major surprise to us. It seemed all pretty straight away, honestly.
Okay,
Matt, I think the best answer to that question is gonna come in 15, 20, 30 minutes when you see what they did with those insights. Seemingly unsurprising insights may yield some creative solutions. So that's going to be fun.
Okay, I will say this, and Jenna can comment that what you did find was not surprising to us, which is good. It aligns to what we hear, and we talk to our constituents in various forums every day, and their voice is heard through their donations. Their voices are heard through their participation. Their voices are heard through their posts on social media. Their voices are heard through the support for loved ones. So that's those voices are ever present, and they never quiet us down. So, but yeah, don't you think, Jenna, that the findings were consistent?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys.
And I see one of our interview subjects is on the call. Allison Long is kind enough to be listening in. Thank you so much for your support. The students got a lot out of it.
Happy to participate. It's fun to see everyone working for this great cause.
Hi, Allison.
Thanks, Allison.
Hey, Matt.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to transition to our first team presentation. Team 1941 is going to take the screen, and I will let them kick it off.
Okay, good evening, and thank you for being here, everyone. We're Team Jayhawk 1941, and we're so excited to show you what we've been working on these past few months. I'm Lily Ruttinger.
I'm Alexis Barnes.
I'm Danielle Schaffler.
I'm Hannah Cruz.
I'm Will Anderson.
And I'm Nicole Mitchell.
And one of the things that we first noticed and admired about Head for the Cure is their commitment to creating a strong and positive and uplifting environment, and how that enforces the building of great communities. So our goal for you is to help you further strengthen your local communities and to work to connect them nationally. So when we first started thinking about communities and what makes a community strong, we thought of the Kansas City Chiefs. When you first think of the Chiefs, you think of game day, Arrowhead, the crowds, the cheers, and just the overall atmosphere. And attending game day makes every Chiefs fan feel like a part of the team and offers a very individual experience that keeps fans coming back, whether the team loses or, like this year and hopefully next year, they win the Super Bowl. Game day is a great way to feel like a member of the Chiefs community, but the best part about the Chiefs is that you don't have to be at the game to feel involved. We think the Chiefs do an excellent job of creating a unique, positive, and engaging community that can exist outside of Arrowhead. So these are three aspects of a strong community that we think the Chiefs do really well and that we kept in mind while developing our concepts for you. The first is providing a unique experience. Just wearing a red t-shirt on Fridays creates a unique experience where fans feel like their involvement makes a difference, and being able to participate in cheering in the loudest stadium in the world. The next is creating positive feelings. When the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, the team shared their win with the fans, and this positive atmosphere showcases that wherever fans are, they can celebrate the success of their community and continue to give loyal support. And the third is engaging interaction. Many players on the Chiefs engage with local fans in Kansas City and make each fan feel a part of their team and fan base. Fans want to talk about the Chiefs and look for opportunities to connect with others that feel the same way. Like-minded individuals that share a passion for the same community want to be involved with it at all times. And that is what we want to focus on with our campaign. We really liked this quote from Matt Anthony that said, "Everything we're about is positive. Our events are celebrations. We bring humor and great energy to these events. So although it is a serious subject, the tone of our brand and vibe of our experiences is not only hopeful and joyous, but fun." So we wanted to take inspiration from the Chiefs and Matt Anthony's words to create a campaign that showcases the unique and positive and engaging community that can exist outside of 5Ks. So these tactics will target 4 main audiences: people who have participated in Head for the Cure events before, such as the 5Ks, college students and people near college town 5K sites, patients who have been diagnosed with a brain tumor, as well as their friends, supporters, and caregivers, and lastly, current or past donors of Head for the Cure. So our campaign aims to make Head for the Cure first and foremost a resource of support for patients and those affected by the cause. Every patient goes through a different and difficult process, and we wanted to create a marketing plan that speaks to the individuality of these experiences. At the same time, we want to establish Head for the Cure as a cohesive space for all their patients, donors, and participants to get involved and stay involved with the cause. We've created these 5 tactics that we think will help achieve these goals and help create an active and a positive community.
Allison Long and Harry Campbell talked to us a little bit about how important donations are, especially to nonprofit organizations. After hearing Allison and Harry talk to us about donations, we decided that a monthly donation system would be a good option for Head for the Cure. The goal of the Mind the Gap strategy is to create an active and inclusive community with donors and 5K participants that encourages them to stay involved with the cause that goes beyond 5K races. We chose to call it Mind the Gap because there is a timeline where the diagnosed stop donating or they drop off after post-treatment. This is us closing the gap and creating a continuous timeline. The monthly subscription will give 5K participants, current one-time donors, and lapsed donors or participants an option to pick their own donation amount that will be automatically billed to them each month. There will also be an option to donate monthly on behalf of a specific 5K local market or team name, as well as general donations to the cause. Here's an example of a potential mock-up of a Head for the Cure newsletter. A quarterly newsletter will be sent out to monthly donors detailing how their donation is making a difference in their communities, both locally and nationally. There will also be a meter that shows how much a specific team has raised for the cause if the donor chooses to give on behalf of a team name. We got the idea of a monthly newsletter from a nonprofit organization called Greenpeace. In Greenpeace's newsletter, they highlight specific things going on with their cause, show you how you can participate, and give you an opportunity to donate. We wanted to emulate parts of this newsletter to the Head for the Cure mockup and also make it a little more personal.
This tactic is called Great Minds Think Alike. This quote from Jenna helps speak on that a little bit because one issue we noticed was the separate websites for Head for the Cure and Brain for the Cure. Brain for the Cure offers all kinds of information on brain cancer and measures you can take to combat it. And with there being over 120 different types, the easier the access to information, the better, which is very beneficial to those diagnosed and their family members. So separating the two isn't really necessary, and if anything, confuses people looking to participate in your events because they might not know which website to go on. By integrating the 2 websites, you could create one seamless platform that allows people to learn more information about the 5K events and brain cancer itself. As you can see from the American Brain Tumor Association's website, they have created an easy way for visitors of the website to become involved and at the same time learn more information about brain tumors themselves. On top of that, their website advertises their mentorship program right on the front, which makes it easily accessible for anyone diagnosed to interact with. This is Head for the Cure's current website, and you guys do a good job of advertising the events, but unlike the American Brain Tumor Association's website, it doesn't link you to connections with healthcare professionals, offer information on brain cancer, or offer phone support. So with that being said, here's a potential website design for Head for the Cure. As you can see, we have integrated Brain for the Cure as the icon in the bottom left, which makes it much easier for people to access instead of going to a different website completely. And then we've also kept a focus on the race events itself, as well as donations. And then just on top of all that, it's more visually appealing than the current website.
Next, we have Speak Your Mind. As you can see from these quotes from Mindy Lee, personal connections are a very important part of gaining and keeping your audience, who we have defined as diagnosed individuals and their families. We believe that by making Brains for the Cure Instagram page more personal and less scientific, you will be able to grow your audience and increase engagement on that account. A great idea to do this would be by following the likes of Humans of New York. If you don't already know, Humans of New York is an account that shares personal stories of the people that they find in New York City, but also they've branched out in recent years to include other countries as well. It currently has over 10 million followers on Instagram and 20 million likes on Facebook. Since there are so many different types of brain tumors and everyone experiences it differently, this will help connect your audience by allowing them to get to know who exactly they will be helping. It will also help patients feel less alone, which is something that Heads for the Cure already aims to do. Here's an example of what that can look like for you. In order to get people to share their story, we would be able to nominate our friends or family members, or a survivor could nominate themselves. Heads for the Cure would be able to conduct interviews for this over email, or during an event, you could have someone interview and take photos of survivors there as well.
Next up is our tactic head-to-head. So this quote from Mindy Lee really resonated with us because, as she said, everyone has a very different experience with this disease, so it can be difficult to find someone else who shares that same experience. So we wanted to find an easy way for patients to find that personal support system and also a way for past participants to stay involved. So Head-to-Head is a free mentorship program that provides patients and caregivers with a personal opportunity to connect with someone who has gone through a similar experience. The mentorship will be free to join and free for any volunteer to sign up. We found inspiration from this idea from the American Brain Tumor Association's program, Community, and we like how this program recognizes the different experiences associated with the disease and how to offer patients that personal connection. So next up is a mock-up of what a mentorship program could look like for Head for the Cure. We think that this program will be beneficial because our research shows that social well-being and mental health can actually affect the success of treatment. So in that way, having a strong support system is a really important factor in a patient's experience. We also think this tactic is effective because it keeps past participants engaged in the cause and are therefore more willing to give back. One of the major reasons a donor stops giving is because they aren't personally involved in the cause anymore. So this is a way for those previously involved to stay connected and to make a personal difference in someone's life.
Our last big idea is Gray Matters. In order to increase engagement and gain national recognition, we have decided to create a viral social media challenge. Since the month of May is Brain Cancer Awareness Month and their designated color is gray, we have decided to create a challenge to wear and post your very own outfit, which is a gray outfit. We believe that in order to promote the organization successfully on social platforms, the social media challenge would be most engaging. Starting May 2021 and continuing through the year, friends and family can post their favorite outfit and nominate 3 people to participate. This will increase awareness and encourage donations from the public. The Ice Bucket Challenge is a prime example of a successful viral social media challenge. It was fun, easy, accessible, and inclusive. ALS received lots of national recognition from this challenge from celebrities and thousands of people. We believe our Groutfit Challenge has the potential to replicate the success of the ALS Challenge.
So now I want to kind of circle back to the Chiefs and what we talked about in the beginning with a strong community and those core elements of uniqueness, positivity, and interaction. So we believe that these elements come together to create a community of loyal, passionate individuals who look to strengthen their involvement in the cause wherever they are. So the goal for our tactics today was to demonstrate how to build a strong community for Head for the Cure using those core elements. So for Unique, we think that our Speak Your Mind and head-to-head tactics speak to the individuality of experiences felt by those affected by brain cancer. These tactics directly address their unique situations and offer a system of support that allows them to make personal connections. For positivity, we think that our Great Minds Think Alike tactic hopes to make Head for the Cure one cohesive place for patients to find inspiration, participants to get involved, and people to feel more emotionally connected with the cause. And lastly, interaction. Our Mind the Gap and Gray Matters tactics hope to make long-lasting, loyal donors and participants. They also hope to expand the range of donors by making it easy and fun to get involved. So just one last thing before we wrap up this presentation. We found this quote from Allison Long, and we like it because we think it really showcases how people feel when they attend a Head for the Cure 5K race. And we feel like those elements we talked about for a strong community are very present at those 5Ks, but we think they aren't as strong outside of those events. So we hope by implementing our tactics that mass celebration felt by people at the races will be present not only at the events, but in the daily lives of those connected to the cause as well. Overall, with our campaign, Head for the Cure can become an all-inclusive place for patients and participants. It can be a resource for patients, a testimonial of survival, a support system, a national presence, and above all, a community of hope and inspiration. And we hope we showed that tonight. Thank you. Questions?
I have one. Thank you. First of all, thank you all so much. I love the idea of the grout fit. Did you, knowing how trends happen, did you all explore what that would look like trying to get that word out there and who maybe would be those key influencers?
Yeah,
So
sorry, go ahead.
Hannah, you can go.
We do have
Take it
a
away.
potential celebrity endorsement who could get that word out. And we also talked about maybe reaching out to local influencers in all the markets to get that word out.
Awesome.
Matt and Harry? Oh, Matt, you're on mute.
Matt, were you going to ask a question?
Am I on mute?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's the problem. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's your finding around the two brands, the two websites. That's that's something we talked about in our strategic planning meeting last year, and Harry's smiling because he brought forward a similar proposition. And we do need to dig deeper into that. Brains for the Cure, what you don't know and wouldn't know is that we established Brains for the Cure as our central program to serve as a navigator for people to understand, manage, and cope with the disease. And it's become bigger than just a website. The portal, the navigator itself is designed to help patients and caregivers move through the process. But it's also, it's an entity that we're hanging other programs from, survivor groups, even our medical advisory board, those elements, so that the brand matters as an entire piece of programming. Though, Harry served up, I'm going to steal his thunder here, the consideration of maybe, we need to tighten the brand integration between those two things because they are very different. The framing is different, the brand identity is different. It was done so deliberately, but it does, as a lifelong ed guy, it does compromise some of the virtues of brand focus. So that's a good find. The other thing I would say is the Head for the Cure site. Did you guys have access to any of the analytics? Did you get any analytics data on our website traffic? Did anybody dig into that? I don't know if you asked or didn't, but this is partly a lesson that. So the truth is, the Head for the Cure website is performing extraordinarily well, and much more so than it did before a redesign a year ago. And it was designed principally as our vehicle to carry information about our 5Ks, which is still 80% of our fundraising revenue. So strategically, its function and its return is very strong. Now, and ABTA, who you referenced, is a different type of organization. They are all about advocacy. We're more about community. And so if you dug in deeper, you'd see that the quote you made, I think it was Hannah at the end about our event that Allison shared, is really replicated through all of our imagery. And so because the events are transferred into our information vessels. So that's the strategy behind that. That's not to say that what you found it was a good find, particularly as we continue to evolve the strategic relationship between Brains and our foundation brand. So it was there was one question in there you forgot already that I forgot that I even asked. Did you have access to the web data, to the analytics? And did you guys?
No, we didn't.
Okay, all right. So that going forward, when you get into your professional careers, that's a good, so guiding your recommendations against data always carries a lot more weight. So that's just, I hope that's okay, David, to provide that instructive point of view as well, to take that with you going forward.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
This is Harry. I don't have a question. I had a couple comments I thought I would share with you. First of all, I thought the way you presented it was well organized. The flow was very simple to follow, and therefore I didn't have to fight that at all with any energy. And one of the best things about a presentation is if that can happen, because if you make people work too hard, they lose part of their brain that you want them engaged on the subject matter. I really loved, although I know you were very consistent with what we have as a culture, I think you captured it, and there was a lot of words that really resonated with me about the uniqueness, but the uplifting culture and stuff. That was cool. Third of all, the head-to-head mentorship is cool. My wife, who is a survivor, gets a lot of informal phone calls, and people call and say, well, Chris, talk to this person. She does that 10 times a year. And having somebody that can do that in a more formal connection program, I think makes a lot of sense. We do it, but it's a bit unorganized because it's so individualistic. And then the fourth one was that I think I should wear one of those outfits. That'd be looking good, right?
Yeah, it's trendy.
No, I agree with that. I think it was a very well organized presentation and a lot of good thought-provoking ideas in there. And as we continue to kind of hone in on Head for the Cure's niche in this whole world, how do we fulfill those needs through the different platforms that we have? And one of the things that's really great is that we're kind of closing the gap with the idea that all of our foundations have to compete against each other. And so finding Head for the Cure's role and what all of that looks like, and what can we lean on our other partners to kind of piggyback different participants and really capitalize on their strengths, and what do we do that's strong in all of those different kind of symbiotic relationships is something that's really evolved. And so I really appreciate all of your really thoughtful ideas and new way of looking at things, because we can always get stuck in how we see it each day. So to have fresh eyes looking in to kind of help us gauge what is getting communicated well, where are some of those pitfalls, is really helpful.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Guys.
Great feedback. Okay, with that, I'm going to hand the stage over to our next team, Team 1929. We are 4 minutes off schedule, but I think we've got an opportunity to catch up as the night goes on. 1929, take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrew. We are the 1929 Campaigns Group. We are very grateful for you guys you guys being our clients, and we are really looking forward to sharing what we learned this semester with you guys. Like I said, my name is Andrew. I was the creative director on the team.
I'm Gwen Robertson. I'm the planning director of the team. I'm Merrick Binky. I'm the marketing communications director.
I'm Maddie Cook, and I'm the research director.
I'm Amanda Berger, and I'm the account coordinator.
Zoe.
I think she's on mute.
You got to unmute.
Sorry.
Wow, thank you guys. Okay, I'm Zoe Hurst. I'm the presentation director and I'm no longer on mute. Head for the Cure has been on a mission since 2007 to raise awareness and inspire hope for patients of brain cancer, including their families, friends, caregivers, and other supporters. We are so excited to share what we've been working on this semester. Although we had to overcome unforeseen challenges, we stand confidently behind our work and are proud to be paired with such an amazing organization. We hope to make you proud.
Okay, so from all of our research and meetings with the client, we have found that the main challenge Head for the Cure faces is engaging with people who have no personal connection to the cause.
Our purpose, as defined by Head for the Cure, can be broken down into 3 distinctive things: increase revenue growth, strengthen relationships, expand awareness by creating and communicating a consistent brand experience.
There is a huge lack of awareness towards brain cancer. Over 700,000 Americans are living with a brain tumor. Brain tumors kill more children and adults over the age of 40 than any other cancer, yet just 1% of the national spending on cancer research has been allocated to this disease. Over the past 30 years, there have only been 4 FDA-approved drugs and 1 device to treat brain tumors. All of these statistics speak to how underfunded brain cancer and brain cancer research is.
So we already know that people who are directly affected by brain cancer want to help and donate, but what about the people who aren't affected? People with no connection to a cause will donate for various reasons. They want to feel a part of something. People who see their peers involved in a cause are more likely to participate and donate. Their attention has been caught. People connect more to personal stories than statistics or broad statements. They get to see their impact, and lastly, they know someone who volunteers or is on the board of the directors of the organization. So social media. Having a strong social media presence is important in today's world. We live in a digital age where social media can help build awareness about your brand, show authenticity, lets your brand personality shine, encourages engagement from consumers. Engaging content is important to make supporters feel like their opinions are being heard. This makes people more inclined to donate. Shareable content means more exposure. This is beneficial to get your brand name out and interact with more people. The average attention span for humans has dropped from 12 to 8 seconds. Content that stands out is important to catch readers' attentions. Consumers scroll through thousands of ads every day, so having a strong and clear message on social media can help your brand stand out. Viral campaigns. People love to participate. Oh, we all see viral posts and challenges shared on social media. It almost seems easy to go viral today. People participate in viral challenges because it makes them feel included and a part of something. There's a sense of community that comes with these trends. People want to do what their peers are doing and feel accepted. Instant gratification is important to consumers. This feeds back into feeling included by participating in these viral challenges and getting likes. Shared media spreads through social media and word of mouth. This is how content goes viral. The most successful viral videos are a mix of funny, touching, surprising, engaging, simple, and authentic.
I don't know, all of a sudden someone started mowing their lawn halfway through this presentation, so I'm sorry about that noise if you can hear it. But talk about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. This challenge, it had an immense amount of success due to how viral it went on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Before the Ice Bucket Challenge, ALS was not a commonly known disease. They were successful for a few reasons. The first, when somebody publicly challenges you, that is a direct call to action. The second is you only had 24 hours to complete the challenge, which created a level of urgency. Third, it spread quickly because you had to nominate other people. This gives an incentive for people to participate on a platform where many people will see them. The fourth reason it succeeded was the timing. The Ice Bucket Challenge came out in the summer where people had more time on their hands. Finally, the challenge was simple and entertaining, meaning everyone can participate. The more shareable content you produce on social media, the more people will see what your organization is doing and they'll be motivated to get behind it.
So for our target audience, we wanted to start spreading awareness to a younger generation in order to create lifelong donors. We were told at our first client meeting with Head for the Cure that they already have a few big fish donors that donate large sums a few times. What Head for the Cure needs is more donors who will give smaller amounts for longer periods of time, more than once. We thought if we're going for repeated donations, why not look at the younger audience and give us the longest possible potential relationship with new donors? We are trying to connect with young people through social media who have no connection to brain cancer. The younger audience, or Gen Z, spends the most time on social media and therefore are most likely out of all generations to make a challenge go viral. This chart shows that in 2019, TikTok was the most downloaded app on the App Store. The app has gotten much more popular recently since people began socially distancing. The average Gen Zer spends almost 3 hours a day on social media, and a study shows that challenges usually start on TikTok and launch from there to Instagram, where they really skyrocket as an older audience shares it as well. So we came up with a few personas to give you examples of the kinds of people we're trying to reach with this campaign. Emily is a 25-year-old nurse in Omaha, Nebraska. She graduated nursing school 1 year ago, excited to fulfill her lifelong dream of helping people. She's now an essential worker on the front lines helping fight coronavirus. Her days are long and hard, and she is isolated away from her family. She's stressed because her hospital is lacking supplies, which makes her job harder and riskier. Every night she goes home to an empty apartment, missing her friends and family. Although she knows her work is important, she is longing for a way to connect with her community again. Emily has an Instagram, and before the times of social distancing, she loved going out and participating in community challenges on social media. She scrolls through Instagram and TikTok before she goes to sleep, hoping to see something that will laugh and make her smile. Alex is a 20-year-old student studying art education at KU. His classes have moved online since the coronavirus shut down schools. He's close with his parents who live a few states away, and he talks to them every few days. His family history is mostly healthy. None of his relatives have ever had cancer or a major health scare. His passions include painting, playing video games, and spending time with his friends. While under quarantine, he can still complete his schoolwork and play video games, but he is looking for a way to connect with his friends. Alex is very active on Instagram and uses that as a way to send funny videos to his friends. These are some of the people that love to participate in viral challenges and are open to learning from them. And if they're moved in the right way, these are the people that will donate.
So after conducting our research and looking back on all the meetings with the client, we have taken our original purpose that the client gave us and reframed it into 4 main goals. First, Head for the Cure needs people who aren't personally connected to brain cancer to participate in the conversation. Second, we need to promote the cause in an uplifting and positive way. This is crucial to Head for the Cure's mission. 3, we need to educate the public in an entertaining and engaging way. And 4, we need to connect the 2 communities of people who are affected and who aren't personally affected by brain cancer.
During our client orientation, one student asked what Head for the Cure wanted to see at the end of all of this. Matt Anthony set the golden standard as the next ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Head for the Cure also wanted something tangible. We can confidently say we have met both of these goals.
And now we present to you the Headstand Challenge. The rules are simple. State your name and nominate 3 people to do the #HeadstandForTheCure challenge. Participants will then record themselves attempting to do a headstand and post it on social media.
After doing a headstand, you could feel off balance, confused, dizzy, and your head might even hurt if you do one for long enough. These are just a few of the symptoms brain cancer patients might feel on a daily basis. This challenge gives insight into what it is like to have brain cancer and the struggles these patients go through every day in a way that is still lighthearted and uplifting. Anyone can attempt to do this challenge, and the point of it is to have fun and raise awareness.
So we made a video compilation of our friends doing the #HeadstandForACure challenge just to showcase what the challenge will look like. So let me cue that up. Hold on. Okay.
Whoa.
Hey guys, I'm Kat.
Hi, I'm Molly. My name is Amanda. Millie, and I'm doing the Headstand for the Cure challenge. I'm doing the Headstand for the Cure challenge.
Doing the Headstand for the Cure challenge. I nominate Mary Kvinky, Allison Ikesty, and Meredith Weber.
I nominate Catherine and Josie. And Zoe Hurst, Lexi Carter, and Margaret Johnson. You have 24 hours.
Drop your worries. You were gonna turn out fine. Oh, you turn out fine. Fine. Oh, you turn out fine. But you gotta keep your head up. Oh, and you can let your head down. Hey, you gotta keep your head up. Oh, and you can let your head down. Hey, I know it's hard. No, it's hard to remember.
I'm doing the Extrovert Challenge, and I nominate.
Hey, I got my hands in my pockets, kicking these rocks.
Oh my God, yay!
All right. So, you guys were all able to hear and see that, okay, correct?
Yeah, that's awesome. It's such a great smile. I love it.
Well, as you can see, you don't have to do a headstand to do the challenge, and it's all about trying new ideas and spreading awareness. For the people who can't do a headstand, watching them fall or struggle provided the entertainment. And for the ones that could do a handstand, their impressive skills were also fun to watch. People can even use a wall for support or have their friends and family hold their legs. We just want this to be as accessible to everyone. Hold on, sorry. All right.
Okay, so why it works. The Headstand Challenge works because it spreads awareness, participation, and education for Head for the Cure and brain cancer. Selfless ideas evoke empathy, and people love showcasing they are doing something good for humanity. It is simple yet fun, and anyone can get involved, whether they are doing the headstand, taking the video, or even holding their friends or family members' legs in the air. Participants will immediately feel the symptoms of someone with brain cancer after standing up. The challenge can be shared on social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. After completing the challenge, participants feel good about themselves for getting involved in a worthy cause. Simple ideas work. They are easy to grasp and translate into action, increasing the odds that people will engage. May is Brain Cancer Awareness Month, and viral challenges are more likely to explode in the summer. People have more time on their hands, and with social distancing in place, this is the perfect time for this challenge to work. After doing some research, we have found that challenges tend to start on TikTok and spill over to Instagram and Twitter.
Next slide.
Great.
So with the COVID-19 pandemic practically eliminating in-person races and fundraising events over the last few months, the organizations have been scrambling to get creative with how they can connect to their audience and engage new members of their target audience at the same time. Some race organizations are turning their eyes towards virtual 5Ks. It is the same as their regular 5K, but participants are asked to run or walk on their own, so they aren't breaking the social distancing guidelines that have been set. One thing that stood out to us when we learned about this is that there's plenty of ways to additionally engage and actively connect past participants as well as future audience with each other. Things like viral challenges, which have been keeping a lot of people connected as well as entertained while having to socially distance and stay at home. Some examples of these include the Tootsie Slide, the Koala Challenge, and the Carrot Drawing Challenge. That is why we think the Headstand Challenge is a great idea to help keep participants connected and entertained, while at the same time spreading awareness about brain cancer and raising money to help research towards a cure. And then here's an example of a social media post we made to share on social media. This one was specifically made for Twitter. It uses the hashtag Headstand for the Cure and is promoting the Headstand Challenge.
This is an example of Facebook post we made. This just shows how easy it is to participate in the Headstand for the Cure challenge. It gives simple instructions where you accept the challenge, record yourself doing a headstand, and then upload it to social media. Sample graphics would also include links for people to donate to Head for the Cure. And then this is an Instagram post we made. All of our posts would include our hashtag Headstand for the Cure. Branded hashtags are unique to your brand. They help find your brand on social media when searching the hashtag or posting the hashtag.
So just some final thoughts. Although not everyone can do a headstand, I definitely can't. Anyone can participate by sharing, liking, commenting, and donating. Head for the Cure can link their donation page when posting about the challenge, so it is easily accessible and motivates people to give. We believe this is a fun, inclusive, simple, cost-effective, and educational way to meet all of the goals. Will you headstand for the cure?
No, because I have a back problem, but I love the idea.
I love it.
I think that I really like that how simple this is. And one of the questions I have for the team is, your goal is inclusivity, and I think that by tying the feeling of coming out of that head rush to what some of the symptoms are for having a brain tumor or being after treatment is a great way to give perspective, because there is no way to there's so many different symptoms of brain tumors. It's hard to put yourself in those shoes and to ever even come close to understanding. So I like that aspect. I'm curious if you all, and you kind of touched on a little bit, but I'm curious, how can we make this even more inclusive if people are unable to do this? Just thinking of if our brain tumor patients wanted to do something and get involved and share their stories with it, they may not be able to physically do that. So what is another way that we could get them involved outside of just kind of sharing or liking someone else's posts?
Yeah, so we definitely knew this would be a concern, and this was, we were kind of like brainstorming the other day, just like other things that would kind of make you feel off balance and dizzy. We were thinking like spinning somebody in like an office chair or something like that, or if you, yeah, or there was like the dizzy bat, like you said. Did you want to go?
I mean, I know I touched on that part specifically, but mostly what I was thinking for like when people with actual brain cancer is that they can get involved by like actually recording the videos or even just like getting a good laugh out of them. So that's kind of like how I thought.
People can also, like if somebody gets nominated for the headstand challenge publicly and they're not able to do it, they can still like post a video of them nominating other people to continue to spread the word without actually having to participate in the challenge.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. It's a great question, Jen. I thought of the same thing, but I loved the fact that even if you can't do it, you can do it. I mean, that's the thing that's, I mean, you may just get down on all fours and put your head and touch it to the ground. I mean, it's the whole idea of the smile that comes from it. And you've reflected well on a lot of what I said, what Harry said, what Jenna said, what Allison said, and the ethos that is Head for the Cure, the smiles, the celebration, and of course, social media extends into something titillating or humorous that works. So you've matched that. I think, and I love the simplicity of it. It's just awesome. And I think, the extendability is really cool. So maybe the answer to the question is, so if you can't do a headstand, you can ask the person that did the headstand, wow, what did that feel like? What did that rush feel like? I mean, the dizzying comes and goes, but living with a brain tumor, it's ever present. I mean, there's a way to make sort of the real life mirror the momentary experience. So it has a lot of extendability, and anybody can do it. The next thought is how do you attach fundraising to it? And that was also the beauty of Ice Bucket. And I think you've done a real nice job of finding something that is in the zone, it's in the same ecosystem. But now how do you, is it, do a headstand, donate $1, that there's that element of it. The challenge becomes the participation monetarily as well. So, but
I think it would be interesting for the number of seconds that you're able to do a headstand as the amount of dollars that you donate to the organization.
Yeah,
I would be zero.
Right. That's cool. That's a doable idea. I love it.
I had a couple things I wanted to add. I think the idea of these being well presented and flow through simply is going to be across the board, but I found it once again very easy to follow. I have nothing to add with regard to the headstand for the cure, because I was going to say all the things that those people said, and you all said it already. I will add though that I just trademarked it just now with the office of whoever it does in Washington, D.C. So if you want to use it, you got to trademark, you got to get a license from me.
I know what that costs.
There's a local young lady in Kansas City. Her name is Diana Kander, Kander. She was married. She's 35 or so. Her husband just turned 39. He was a Secretary of State for Missouri. He was the first millennial ever elected to an office. He's a really big deal in the National Democratic Party. She is married to him, and she is a best-selling author, New York Times. And one of the things she does is challenges herself, and she picks a goal, and she says, I'm going to do it. And one of them was like a 3-minute plank. And she films herself every time, and she did a handstand, and she said, I have to do a handstand. I think it was take number 2041. And she finally did it, and she was screaming and yelling, and she has a huge following. She's written a couple New York Times best-selling books because she's not the celebrity he is, but she lives within 5 minutes of the Head for the Cure office too, because she
They
lives.
don't, and they're donors every year too.
Yeah, and they're friends of our family. And I just thought, I'm just laughing at this because the first 78 times she tried, she's athletic, she's fit, she's 35. And she couldn't do shit. She couldn't stay. It was so embarrassing. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then she finally nailed it, and I don't know how long she had to stay out. But it's DIANAKANDER, and on Facebook it's 2 words. On Instagram it's obviously 1 with no other characters. I would encourage you to look at her stuff because you could probably go backwards less than a year and find all that, and it would be really cool. She would be a great person to do that with, and I love the idea.
So what you're saying here is, if we can, that's the next piece is find, it's all about an influencer, right? And the authority
Yeah.
link that comes from that.
She's in the sweet spot of what we're looking for. 25 to 39. We don't have much of an audience with, unfortunately.
Yeah.
As much as we'd like.
We actually tried reaching out to like Devontae Graham and Patrick Mahomes' girlfriend. Like I messaged them on Instagram to like see if they would. They haven't answered yet, but it's sitting in their inbox just in case they do.
Yeah, I follow her along with 73,000 other people, right?
Yeah.
I get the insight into Patrick Mahomes through her, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's great. Well done, guys.
Great job. If these big ideas are making your wheels spin a little bit and energizing those creative juices, that's great. That's what we expect. More to come. So let's queue up our next group.
Thank you, guys.
Good job, guys. Thank you very much.
Team 1923 is up next. We are 7 minutes off schedule. We'll try to make that up throughout the night. I want to be.
So David, while we're on that, I mean, is there a hard stop? If we.
There's not. I just want to be mindful of your time. We'll go till 8:30, but I want to be fair to each group and make sure we're staying on track.
I'm only going to have 2 beers during the presentation, so I'm trying to time my second one. So I just.
That's good. All right, let's hand it off to 1923. If you guys are ready, you've got the screen.
All right, thank you, David. First off, I would like to say thank you for the opportunity. It has been such a fun and challenging roller coaster throughout this semester. But with that being said, here's our campaign for Group 1923. I'm Jared Cox, the presentation director.
I'm Brooke Dubin, the creative director.
I'm Taylor Lynn Johnston. I'm the planning director.
I'm Anna Meridian. I'm the Marcom director.
I'm Meredith Chappell, the research director.
I'm Amber DeWitt. I'm the account coordinator.
So our goal is to create a campaign that will build a stronger and more expanded community of support for Head for the Cure. Our objectives to build a community of support for Head for the Cure consist of increasing revenue growth, strengthening relationships, and continued giving. Lastly, expanding awareness by communicating in a consistent brand experience. For our campaign strategy, we have decided to expand every corner of Head for the Cure. We plan to execute these 6 tactics that achieve our goal and objectives through 1, a new social media campaign that reaches outside of the brain cancer community. 2, an expanded methods of revenue growth for Head for the Cure. And 3, a strengthened Head for the Cure that can appeal to a variety of consumers, not just those within the brain cancer community. These 6 tactics consist of the hashtag #GoGray and merchandise, sponsorships, a live 5K event, Facebook groups, website design, and a brochure.
When we met at Head for the Cure headquarters, you told us you wanted an ice bucket challenge. When you look deep down, what really is an ice bucket challenge? It's something fun, involved, unique, new, creates communication and community. That is what we are giving you with hashtag #GoGray.
We recognize that Go Gray in May already exists. However, through our research, we have found a way for Head for the Cure to create its own campaign and expand the reach of its branding. Through the use of its social media community, Head for the Cure can create its own Go Gray in May campaign for Brain Tumor Awareness Month. Not only can your nonprofit utilize its community of followers, it can tap into its geographic community of Kansas City as well. This campaign proposes the question, how do you go gray in May? In response, Head for the Cure would post a photo of themselves on Facebook or Instagram wearing gray however they see fit and tag it with how they are going gray. Examples could be hashtag walk gray, hashtag work gray, hashtag teach gray, hashtag play gray, etc. In their post, participants would also feature the hashtag go gray and nominate their friends to participate. With over 16,000 followers on Facebook, Head for the Cure could brand this hashtag go gray campaign as their own. For example, Taylor Lynn was tagged by one of her friends in the hashtag Go Gray campaign. She decides to hashtag hike gray this May and questions her friends on how they go gray. This is a campaign that will spread awareness for brain tumors and grow the Head for the Cure community at the same time.
A consistent social media presence is key if you want an audience to recognize your brand. We decided that Facebook and Instagram should be Head for the Cure's main social media platforms because they are the platforms most used by its target audience. The campaign would begin on May 1st, and throughout the campaign, Head for the Cure would share the best Go Gray post each day to its Facebook page and Instagram story, which would give participants incentive to be recognized for their creativity. Every day, Head for the Cure will also produce their own Go Gray posts with different themes showcased on this calendar. For example, Testimonial Tuesday would be a video of someone wearing gray giving a testimonial about what this month and Head for the Cure means to them. The Go Gray social media campaign will conclude on June 1st with a video thanking everyone for participating, a compilation of all the Go Gray posts, and statistics on the success of the campaign.
So this is the Go Gray merchandise that goes along with the Go Gray campaign. It's new and community-based, and it also creates connection among Kansas City residents. The budget that we have shows that the merchandise will benefit the net revenue of Head for the Cure, as it will increase donations through people purchasing the merchandise. It also provides awareness as a form of a physical out-of-home advertisement to spread brand recognition in Kansas City. So these t-shirts, the coffee mugs, and the hats will increase name recognition, awareness, and donations for Head for the Cure. They can be used in the hashtag Go Gray social media campaign through giveaways to social media followers. So for example, the most creative post of the week will be announced every Saturday in May, and the winner will receive free Go Gray merchandise.
Along with the current following that Head for the Cure has, sponsorships throughout Kansas City area could generate more participation. Power and Light offers hot country nights during the summer. This gives the opportunity to support a gray themed venue while offering a percentage night and providing local publicity throughout the Kansas City area. Shields Sporting Complex, located in Overland Park, is also a partner with Sporting KC and could have a gray out tournament that will offer teams to wear gray uniforms during the month of May and could generate revenues and also publicity to the youth, making gray the new pink within cancer. Boulevard is already a partner with Head for the Cure and actually your neighbor. Joining teams with your neighbor will open the door for about 20,000 people to learn more about the cause and join the team. Other sponsors to consider are also the Kansas City Royals, the Kansas City Chiefs, Winterfest, and also expansion into cities later on.
Head for the Cure has done a spectacular job of adapting to virtual 5Ks instead of canceling races due to COVID-19. The virtual 5Ks include just about everything that would be present at a regular race except one thing, the actual community. Our research shows that participants of cause-based 5Ks value the feeling of community and connectedness. One way to make Head for the Cure virtual 5Ks feel as connected to the community as possible would be to use the Facebook Live platform. This would allow viewers to see who is watching the video, be notified of when new people join, and to actively participate through live commenting. Another benefit of Facebook Live is that by using the simulcast function, the virtual 5K could simultaneously stream on multiple pages, meaning that sponsors or local news stations could stream the race on their own platforms. Doing this would increase the opportunity for donations and spread of awareness. Our research also revealed some ideas for in-person events when they continue. Video content is a necessity to marketing, and emotional content drives consumer behavior. In addition to posting photos and slideshows of Head for the Cure events, we recommend creating high-quality video content after every event so attendants can reminisce on their experience and potential participants can get an idea of what Head for the Cure events are like. These videos should be posted on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Creation of quality video related to races and events may increase participation, donations, and overall brand awareness.
Facebook is Head for the Cure's biggest social media platform and receives the most engagement. Compared to Instagram, Head for the Cure's Facebook has over 13,000 more followers than their Instagram page. To continue with the sense of community and support, we believe that Head for the Cure should create private Facebook groups for their 5K events. The Facebook groups will be tailored by city and demographic. Creating these Facebook groups will give others the opportunity to connect with those who are local, develop relationships, and bring a sense of community. Based on the interview we did with Mindy Lee, we learned that she wished she had someone in her demographic to connect with. We believe that creating these private Facebook groups will give others the ability to create personal connections, which will lead to a long-lasting relationship with Head for the Cure.
We also want to make sure that Head for the Cure is consistent through its brand messaging on all its platforms, and that we're achieving every single one of the objectives that we've laid out for you, which are key to having a strong foundation for Head for the Cure to build on. We found that the website is going to be one of the best ways to increase revenue and communicate a consistent brand experience. Our format is similar to many of the successful nonprofit organizations and just helps the flow of design. It helps the design flow through the website become more easily navigatable. With an easily navigatable website, universal color scheme and font styles, and stylization, the aesthetic appeal and natural attraction to the website will communicate that consistent brand message. To expand awareness of Head for the Cure, we also suggest creating a brochure to feature in hospitals that partner with Head for the Cure and other hospitals that specialize in neurology. The brochures should include information about Head for the Cure and Brains for the Cure, and also information about the support that Head for the Cure provides brain cancer patients through 5Ks and other events.
By implementing these strategies, Head for the Cure will be able to spread more awareness of brain cancer and brain tumors. Head for the Cure will be able to showcase how they have been successful in strengthening relationships, which will ultimately drive more long-term donations. The success of the campaign can be measured by an increase in donors and donations, also with followers and likes on their social media platforms. This is our campaign for Group 1923. Thank you again to Head for the Cure. It's been an honor and a privilege for all of us to learn about the incredible work you do, and we hope that we have helped you even in the slightest way during this time. Does anybody have any questions for us?
Well, thank you all for all of the hard work. I love the simplicity of your design for Go Gray. Have you thought about how do we explain what the significance of going gray means within your campaign?
Yeah, so we kind of, in our plans book, we have a bigger explanation as to how you can kind of get this jump started and as like what it all means.
But I think one way to really deliver that message would be through the introduction of the campaign on all of your social media platforms. So ideally that would be a video completely explaining kind of like what you guys have posted at the beginning of this month, but talking about the meaning of May to the brain cancer community, and then also how they can help out and spread this idea and spread awareness.
Mm-hmm. Matt, you're on mute.
My dog's barking, so I'm trying to be sensitive to that. So I too liked the continuity of everything is excellent. I would, and the design is nice. You align to the brand well, but introduce some new thinking. I would, the order, this is just a general comment, the order of your tactics were, you know, the ramp up, so the Boulevardia, the Power Light District, those are big ideas. They're such big ideas that the ability to make them happen is going to take a longer sell-in. It's sort of, so I would suggest sort of start in crescendo up to the big ideas rather than sort of start with a big idea and then bringing the, you know, the Go Gray May, that the merch is all excellent. And I like the designs of that very well. Brochure, we do pieces of that, but that was a nice piece. Those were all integrated. The bigger, you know, that's gonna take a lot of activation, a lot of work. It's not that it isn't a good idea. It's a good idea, but it's a bit more of a reach. So that's, you know, typically you stratify the ideas in a way that you know what can absolutely happen, and what are the baseline pieces, and then ladder up to the bigger ideas. But very well connected. You know, that's a very integrated campaign, which I liked a lot.
Definitely. That's a good point. Thank you.
And once again, I wouldn't add anything on the Go Gray. I actually really like that. We've had the challenge all along of this isn't just cancer, this is brain cancer. And it's one of those subset issues that we struggle with, being an orphan disease, because it's such a small percentage of the actual cancer folks. And Go Gray does that somewhat, but not enough, we found in the past. I liked a lot of the tactics you had. The live 5K is going to be fascinating because we've got to figure out how to do that really well. We're getting better at it. And anything we can do or any ideas we can get from y'all on that would be huge, because we're going to be forced into that for quite a while.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I think one way, I personally really liked how you guys were able to stream all of your sponsors next to the woman running. I think that was a really good way to stay engaged and really stay interested during the whole virtual 5K. So I think a way of keeping that aspect of it and then also moving to the Facebook Live platform would be really awesome, because then it could mix both ideas of showing all the sponsors and survivors and everything that you guys streamed there, and then also being connected to the community. So finding a way to do that, maybe by sharing a screen and then putting it on the Facebook Live or something like that, could be a good way to implement both.
That's a good idea. I'm just going to make a comment on what's your first name again?
Brooke. Brooks.
Hi, Brooke. Sorry, I can't see everybody's name. So there we are. So I really liked the way you presented what you just said. And just to tell a comment for everybody is you acknowledged what's being done in a, you know, authentic way, and then provided an optimization, just an idea that would enhance it. That's very, very smart. And I this is for everybody. I mean, that's really I'm calling you out because you just spoke. I mean, a lot of people have done that. That's it's often difficult in meetings like this to not sound gratuitous to who you're speaking to, but yet to give a nod to what's being done while also presenting an idea that might push it a little bit north. And I think that was really, it was well articulated. So thank you. And others have done it too. So, okay, now we're further behind, right, David?
We're doing fine. I hope the students realize they're getting a master class in terms of this feedback, because this is part of the deal. You guys are getting educated tonight, but I hope the client's getting entertained also.
Sure we are.
Next up, we've got team 1920. So I'm going to turn over the screen to you guys. Take it away.
Hello. Hello. How's everyone doing? Everyone's still awake?
Yes,
very much so.
Good. Okay, so first of all, happy Cinco de Mayo. We are team 1920. So my name is Michaela. I was the account coordinator for our group.
My name's Jada, and I was the creative director.
My name is Dakota Baker, and I'm the marketing director.
My name's Madison Grist, and I was the presentation director.
My name is Alex Hobelman, and I was the research director.
My name is Adriana Norse, and I'm the planning director.
Okay. Does it still say loading? Okay, the images aren't working, that's sad. But just wanted to start off by saying thank you guys for being here and allowing us to work with you. It was a super informative experience, a roller coaster of emotions with everything that went on this last semester, but I think you're gonna love what we have to present for you. So to start us off about Head for the Cure, so the mission is to raise awareness and funding for the community of brain cancer patients, their families, friends, caregivers, other supporters, while celebrating their courage and energy. So two things that really stood out to our group when reading this mission statement was raising awareness and also creating funding. And those two ideas are really what are going to drive our strategies that we came up with for you guys. So we came up with 4 goals that we wanted to achieve through our campaign. The first one was moving the target audience through emotional stories. We noticed that these more personal stories, they tend to generate a little bit more success and kind of really attach the donors to the story and ultimately make them want to donate to the cause. Also, we want to target long-term donors rather than the one-time donors or the 5K participants. So the longevity of the donors is key in avoiding those one-and-done participants. Also, we wanted to include tangible assets that we can deliver that can be easily implemented. So things that you guys can do very easily, low cost, especially with the time we are in today. The post-pandemic online and social media presence needing to be strong. Also, we wanted to create awareness in general, specifically in the Kansas City community. The reason being Kansas City, because it's the most successful for the 5Ks. And so we are aiming to target 4 personas that we created for our target audience. So Susan is a potential donor. She's middle class, Generation X, and she's a female, more likely to donate through social media. Generation X donors are more likely to donate a monetary gift to support a cause. This generation gives more frequently than any other age group, thus making Susan and her peers an important group to target. Jason and Sarah are current donors. They're middle upper class, Generation X, closely impacted by brain cancer. These donors are typically one-time donors around the 5K. They're on the mailing list for Head for the Cure. The middle upper class members of the community have a little bit more of discretionary money to donate. Moving on to the unaware potential donor, David. He is also the upper middle class. He has plenty of discretionary money. He is in the matures age group, 67 years and older. According to a donor loyalty study, $638 is the average donation that the matures age group donate annually. And they support approximately 5.5 nonprofit organizations. So a huge potential group to target and include in their nonprofit organizations that they choose to donate to. Avid 5K participants, Emily and Jordan, are also a group that we wish to target. They are part of Generation X. The average female that participates is 38 years old, and the average male age is 44 years old. according to 5K event demographics, healthcare 5Ks are one of the biggest runs that are put on every year. So the key takeaway from our target audience that we are trying to aim towards is that Generation X is the biggest opportunity, while matures is also a good group to target. Oh, the images are not working. So we came up with, let me see if this works, because this is important. Can you guys see this? Okay, so I came up with this infographic that I created, and it includes our 6 creative strategies: monthly newsletters, blog posts, Spotify account, Instagram TV series, a brain freeze challenge, and then a roundup program. Those 6 strategies fall under 3 big categories of content creation, community, and a social trend. And we'll go into detail as the presentation goes on. So content creation is the first category that we created to address all 4 points that I mentioned above that we wanted to achieve through our campaign. More specifically, point 3. These creative strategies will be easy to implement into the plan of action for Head for the Cure. Using these strategies on a daily basis will not only be easy to do, but will also be incredibly effective, especially with the post-pandemic way of living. Social media and online presence is going to be huge, as the public will not be able to gather in the near future. A monthly newsletter is the first thing that we decided to come up with. It offers a tangible source of information that helps strengthen the relationship between the donors and Head for the Cure. This is a huge opportunity for Head for the Cure to reach out to supporters and tell them what you guys are accomplishing and where you might need some help. Maintaining relationships created within Head for the Cure is going to help strengthen the community aspect, promote events, provide volunteer opportunities, and drive even more monetary donation opportunities. My idea for this is, after a 3 to 6 month time period, to implement a Donate Now button at the bottom of each monthly newsletter. According to fundraising statistics, online revenue increased by 23% over the past year, up from 15%. The Donation Now button would allow people to give a little bit of money each month, ultimately adding up to a lot over time. According to the GuideStar statistics, the email list from 2019 has approximately 100,000 people on that list. If everyone on that list donated at least $1 per month, that would equal a revenue increase of about $1 million. I think that's right. Also, according to a donor loyalty study, they stated that the preferred frequency of communication is at least quarterly, and at most times 2 times per month, depending on the various age groups. So as you see the generational breakdown, they have millennials, Gen X, boomers, and then matures, and it shows how often they choose to be contacted in the last box. This is also another great infographic that was super helpful. It shows all 8 benefits of a monthly newsletter from a nonprofit. Distribute educational content, promote events and volunteer opportunities, share organizational success, recognize donors and supporters, and then increase donations. It's easier and cheaper than direct mail, and then it's easily shareable. This is the monthly newsletter template that I created. So on the first page, you have updates within Head for the Cure that you could type up. Stories of Impact is another page that I thought could be super helpful, and that's going to really drive that emotional effect. And people can submit their stories of impact. People can reach out to other people to provide stories of impact. This is just really a way to drive that emotional connection. And then the last page is also super important. It's the connection page, and that's where you guys will include your Facebook, Twitter, and then the Spotify account that we have created. And those are all clickable links. So once you email them, they can easily just click those buttons and it'll direct them straight towards where they need to go. So moving on to Adriana, who is going to go into detail about the blog post.
So 64% of nonprofit content marketers publish blogs regularly, which is what the image on the right shows. So blogs are an effective marketing tool that can help Head for the Cure increase awareness about brain cancer, welcome new donors, and strengthen the community. Some post topics can include testimonials from people who have been affected by brain cancer, any new medical information about brain cancer, spotlighting the Head for the Cure team, featuring donors who have made a significant impact with their donations, and highlighting upcoming 5Ks. One blog will be posted on Head for the Cure's website every Monday at noon. The post will be highlighted in the monthly newsletters and will be accessible on Head for the Cure's social media platforms. I'm confident that blog posts will help magnify Head for the Cure's mission and spread awareness about brain cancer. They will also help Head for the Cure establish credibility as an organization, build trust with supporters and donors, drive interested people to Head for the Cure's mission, convert readers into potential donors, and create a space for conversation and learning about brain cancer. So obviously May is Brain Cancer Awareness Month, so this would be the perfect time to post a blog. Madison, I'll pass it to you.
Okay, so like Michaela said, we also decided that it would be good to create a public Spotify account for Head for the Cure. So if Head for the Cure created a public Spotify account, it should include playlists with different podcasts and different music types. So the podcast playlist can include podcasts about brain cancer, the health benefits of 5Ks, and Head for the Cure can also create their own podcast of survivors and supporters of the foundation and people who have participated in the 5Ks in the past. And the music playlists could include music that is played at the 5Ks, local bands that perform at the 5Ks and are supporters of Head for the Cure for each city. And Head for the Cure employees and board members could also create their own music playlists of some of their favorite music. We think that this is a interactive way for Head for the Cure to build relationships with current and new donors. And we found that Spotify has over 217 million active users monthly, and that's worldwide. So this broadens their reach globally, but then also increases the awareness in the local Kansas City area. And Spotify found that their podcast listeners have doubled since 2019. So people are always looking for new podcasts to listen to pass time, especially during the pandemic and the post-pandemic world. And Spotify uses a streaming intelligence that guides listeners to things that it thinks they will like. So people who are already listening to podcasts about cancer or running podcasts or similar music playlists to the ones for Head for the Cure, it will guide them to the Head for the Cure account. And also people who listen to other nonprofit Spotify accounts, it will guide them to Head for the Cure account. And we just think that this is a really good way to build relationships with the community in a post-pandemic world, since people are really reaching to social media and streaming platforms when they can't be out of their houses. And this strategy touches with all 4 of our goals that we want to achieve in some way or another. So Michaela, if you could go to the next page. So here I have created some example podcasts that could be included in the playlist. So there's one about brain cancer. There's one about a mother who lost her spouse to brain cancer, and she kind of talks about how she raises her children and how her life changed after losing her spouse. There's a podcast about how to be a healthy runner, and also a podcast for people who want to get into running but don't feel like they can.
Nice.
And Dakota?
Hi. So I decided that I was going to put a preamble right before mine because I'm dramatic. I just really wanted to start by saying that, like, this cause, it like I couldn't have seen or forecasted a better one, honestly. Like it's just like so perfectly beautiful, and I love the energy. Like, and I think that's the biggest part of like this whole thing, is just being able to connect that energy to people who don't know it yet. And I think that I'm really happy that this was the client that we got to test our skills on. So thank you for that. And then can I see the next? There we go. So the best part about this is it's based off of something that you guys are already doing. This post, I don't know if you all have seen it, but it's DJ Stewart, and he's sharing his story, and it's just one of the most powerful videos, like I think I've found from any of your guys' media. And considering the fact that, you know, a third of Americans are on Instagram, and like for ages 18 to 29, that's like 85% of all people, which is crazy for the US. But for the most part, like just being able to make content like this that shares people's stories directly, that gives them the opportunity to talk to people rather than seeing Instagram as a place where you can, I guess, like give dates to, because as of lately, they've really tried to kind of compete with YouTube with their video content and their platforms and stuff. And I think that there's like a really solid opening for more content to go there. And the editing on this video was honestly one of the most impressive things, just because like the production quality is fantastic. And like that just makes everyone who sees it, it just gives it a bit more authority for them to get behind it and try to understand this person's journey, rather than just like an image that you might find of someone like talking into their phone. And like not every person who goes through brain cancer is a performer, so it's fantastic to just be able to prompt them with questions to be able to.
Dakota, can I stop you there, because I want to call something out to. First of all, thank you, and your observations on the story and on the production value are very important. And this piece, we do a lot of videos, and you know, in a organization like ours that every dollar matters, we have to be careful about where we take production value to the highest level. We can't do that every time. We're, you know, the skills of the team under Jenna's leadership are getting better, but periodically, as in the case of Dakota, so your find is insightful because BML actually did this one for us, and we'll do that periodically. So that is the filming and the post. So when there's a story that has a real powerful richness, it's always enhanced by production value. And so, but you know, you've got to try to mirror that wherever you can. So that I wanted to comment on your comment, because it's important for everybody to sort of recognize when there is an opportunity to take things to a level that you can't do every time. So
yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. It's like, and I could definitely see. I wasn't aware of what
we scripted it, and but you know, we went into the studio and shot it, and so you know, Jenna scripted it, and it was so. But yeah. So.
But great content for sure. And I have one more slide after this.
Okay.
That's just for y'all. And yeah.
So if your name's Dakota, what's your dog's name?
Oh, this is just a dog I found on the internet.
Okay. Jack the dog. That's yeah. Okay, nice.
All right, so the next thing that we want to share with you all is the Head for the Cure Brain Freeze Challenge. So we set out to achieve the mission of getting the next Ice Bucket Challenge, and we think that this is it. It would elaborate on a partnership that already exists between Head for the Cure and Sonic, as you can see on that Instagram post. But it would create Sonic would create a Head for the Cure Brain Freeze signature slush. Then from there, the participants will flock to Sonic, phone in hand, to take part in the challenge of attempting to chug the slush to see if they get a brain freeze. Part of the challenge is to record it. But if they get a brain freeze or do not finish the drink, then they have lost the challenge. If they were able to complete it, then they have won the brain freeze challenge. What we hope stands out are the faces on the losers after they have gotten a brain freeze. This is the end goal of the challenge and what will make it become viral. The more hilarious faces, the better. It does not matter if you are a winner or a loser. This is only for bragging rights, but either way, you should post your results on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram with the hashtag HFTC Brain Freeze Challenge, as well as challenge 3 people to complete the challenge within the next 24 hours. If they wish to donate instead of participating in the challenge, then they should consider giving a donation to the cause. With everyone being home at the moment, we think this is a perfect idea to get people out of the house and do something fun, whilst also making a positive contribution to Head for the Cure.
Okay. The Roundup program is the third strategy we generated to address all 4 points of attraction, more specifically point 4. With this strategy, we hope to create more awareness and revenue, specifically in the Kansas City community. The goal is to partner with local grocery stores such as Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Hy-Vee, and more to establish a Roundup program with Head for the Cure and in cities where the Head for the Cure 5Ks are held. The Roundup program allows customers to round up their grocery bill to the nearest dollar, and in some cases, grocery stores also match the total donation in the end. This is more beneficial for prospective donors because it will again help increase awareness for Head for the Cure and donations as well. Moving along to the third bullet, the Roundup app will be useful, especially in a time like the pandemic where people are doing less in-person shopping. Now, you're probably wondering how it works. There are 3 easy steps. 1, those who are donating select their nonprofit of choice. 2, they securely link their bank and cards. Both debit and credit are accepted, and this allows the app to donate the change from their transactions. And it's also important to note that Stripe will manage all card transactions. And lastly, but most importantly, make an impact. At the end of the month, the Roundup app will tally the total change of transactions and send that amount to the selected nonprofit, or in this case, Head for the Cure. This ultimately allows people to make an impact with little effort. Now on to the benefits. 1, the average monthly donation is $15 to $20 per person. There's no financial risk, and there's also monthly reporting and insights at your fingertips. Overall, rounding up is an effective way for people to donate because research has shown that people are more likely to give money if asked to round up, as opposed to the traditional request where customers are asked if they would like to donate X amount of money, even if the amount is identical. Now, Michaela?
Okay, so just trying to conclude this all together. So how does this all tie together? And it goes back to the first infographic that I showed you guys. So we have 3 of those kind of bigger ideas: content creation, social trend, community, and then we have our 6 strategies that work synergistically together to achieve the 4 points that we had mentioned above at the beginning. So yes, that is our presentation at this time. Do you guys have any questions for us?
I'm gonna start talking because you're on mute again. So I'm gonna take your spotlight.
I'm unmuted. Go for it. Go for it.
I was gonna first off by saying I apologize if you hear my daughter screaming. She's 17 months old and is getting changed in her pajamas and hates it. Like that. I really appreciate some of the tangibility of what you all put together. I think that by using some of our partners that you all know we work with, like Sonic, we're always looking at how do we take what we do in North Texas and really make that a national campaign. And I feel like the Brain Freeze Challenge is a good concept in order to pull them in and to make them potentially a national sponsor. Sonic has been extremely generous over the course of the last 10 years. And so to be able to amplify that while also promoting, especially in this environment, something that is really near and dear to them, and that's stewardship in addition to supporting their local restaurants across the country. I feel like that was a really smart, tangible idea that could be implemented.
Yes.
Harry, do you want to comment?
I'm intrigued. I'm pondering this brain freeze thing because I realize it's something I could do because I don't mind hurting myself, but I don't like to look stupid. So the headstand wouldn't be cool. I'm intrigued by that, and also the roundup for retailers. That's something I hadn't thought about adding on to it. So there's a couple of these that, and also their connection on Instagram. I realized you interrupted and talked about that. I thought that was hugely important. So those were three things that really stood out for me.
Awesome. Perfect.
So it's funny, you know, I think we're all drawn to different, there was a lot of depth in your presentation, a lot of solid strategic thinking that led to your ideas, which I liked a lot. I was particularly drawn to the Spotify idea. I think we're doing well with our core digital channels, our core earned media pieces, extending to podcasts, extending to Spotify. We do have a growing source of folks that can tell stories, and so I do really like that as an extender. I would again. So I'm trying to offer some perspective too. So really good stuff here. There was so much depth that I was lost a little bit in getting to, because they're trying to connect the ideas to the strategic points of insight that led to your ideas, and so and one other thing, guys, this is sort of for everybody. I'm going to say it now because so I don't forget it. This is we have a brand that is really rich and colorful, and I would like to see the Head for the Cure brand presented, and every client that you present to for the rest of your lives want to see their brand reflected when you're telling stories about their brand. So find a place to put the logo, find a place to bring the color. You did in several slides, but it should be present. And this is to everybody in the presentation. I just didn't want to forget that make your templates all about the brand you're speaking to. Your ideas are phenomenal. They stick better when you showcase that brand a bit. So a lot of color.
Sorry.
So.
To add to that too, and we've seen this a couple times, I really appreciate the thoughtfulness of creating your audience and providing specific scenarios in which those people live. It helps associate with how your thought process is and how it fits to a specific audience. And now my dog's running downstairs and it's going to start barking. A lot of house things were distracting me, but I agree with Matt on the Spotify portion of it. We're looking at how do we do things like support groups and doctor interviews through Brains for the Cure. And I like the idea of incorporating it in Spotify, where you could create this playlist that people could go in continually to look at depending on their journey. So I appreciate that.
Well done, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great job, guys. All right. I think we're ready for our final group, if you can believe it.
Fantastic.
We're not quite on schedule, but that's okay. We're going to finish strong with team 1912. And so I'm happy to turn the floor over to you. Take it away.
All right. So, good evening, everybody. Thanks for making it to the last group. On behalf of this team, I know we have all thoroughly enjoyed this opportunity to work with you. We know that this time has looked differently for all of us, but nonetheless, we have truly loved every part of this experience. And tonight, we're excited to finally share what we've been working on these past several months. So, without further ado, I am happy to introduce Agency 1912.
I'm Brianna Mears, the Account Director.
Hi, I'm Ellie Clausen. I'm the Creative Director.
Hi, I'm Taylor Anderson. I'm one of the Planning Directors.
Hi, I'm Kate Zucker. I'm the other planning director.
I'm Grace Chappell. I am the presentation director.
I'm Lauren McMullen. I'm the research director.
Hi, I'm Ellie Klaus, and I'm the marketing communications director.
So from our first visit with Jenna and Harry, some things that stuck out to us were the powerful feelings of positivity, warmth, and community that this organization exhibits, often while navigating a somber reality. Therefore, it only felt right to honor and further enhance those emotions when developing our campaign.
In the face of an unprecedented pandemic, much of the world is unsure of where to place their hope. In times of chaos, society tends to look for respite in places such as religion, relationships, or hobbies, a phenomenon known as spiritual cocooning. This desire for spiritual cocooning is not unfamiliar for brain cancer patients and their loved ones. Brain cancer is complex, and it's natural for human emotions to reflect its complexities with a wide range of feelings. A diagnosis is often accompanied by fear, anger, and sadness. However, what makes Head for the Cure a beacon of hope is its emphasis on joy. We believe the key to growing the brand is harnessing this joy to evoke hope, reassuring patients and their loved ones that despite the mix of feelings in between, hope will always be waiting again on the other side. At the core of Head for the Cure is this central question, why? Why does Head for the Cure exist? Why does its staff wake up every morning excited to go to work? Why do volunteers across the nation spend their own precious time, talents, and treasures to help this organization grow? To spread hope through joy. By harnessing this joy, Head for the Cure is able to inspire hope within patients, hope for a cure, and hope within their community while reassuring patients that they are more than just a brain. They are a whole person, and that is worth celebrating. In order to take care of a patient as a whole, Head for the Cure can inspire overall wellness of the mind, body, and spirit through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of focusing on the present moment while calmly identifying and sorting through one's feelings. Using mindfulness as a tool to quiet thoughts, revive the soul, and channel joy allows everyone who comes in contact with Head for the Cure to walk away feeling a little more whole.
The first time we met with Head for the Cure, they presented the challenge to strive to increase their participation, revenue, and awareness, all of which stays true to their overarching goal of creating a functional and effective community for those affected by brain cancer.
As we move on from introducing ourselves and our campaign, we wanted to share some of the research we did as a Jayhawk team. With our primary research, we interviewed 2 individuals. Today, I am going to be talking about Mike, as he used mindful techniques during a rough year in his life, and it helped him better cope with the situations he was facing. Also, after working with the Mindfulness Club at KU, he has heard many students in the club speak about the positive effect they have felt dealing with them coping with their stress in their personal and academic lives. Mike also read about a study by John Kabat-Zinn, a professor who studies mindfulness and how he has been using this tactic with stress reduction at hospitals, and it has shown positive impact on patients. For secondary research, we decided to go further with our research on nonprofits, target audiences, and then added our own research relating to mindfulness. Our nonprofit research and target audience research went hand in hand as key insights we learned were mainly women donate to nonprofits. And this tied in to the fact that mainly women follow Head for the Cure, 60% at least. This tied hand in hand with our insights relating to women responding better to mindfulness than men. This means women, both young and old, are more willing to give new techniques a try, and from that, we'll start getting friends and family involved. We covered lots of research about mindfulness, but what I wanted to discuss today is what we thought most crucial. The first deals with mental health. According to an article about the benefits of mindfulness from Harvard, it can improve well-being, physical health, and mental health. Essentially, these techniques can help you focus on the individual moments you're in and not stress or worry about the past, future, or other things you're not focused on then. The second area is one close to home for all of us, as it's the benefits with cancer patients. One insight we found from an article by ASCO Post, which is an online newspaper paired with the American Society of Clinical Oncology. This article mentioned mindfulness-based stress reduction and intervention programs focusing on loss of control, uncertainty, distress, fear of cancer or cancer reoccurrence, and other emotions that come with that. and has actually been successful for patients and their families. Finally, we wanted to focus on the correlation with how Head for the Cure raises money. We found a study from 2016 that focused on the effects of using mindfulness tactics during and after running. It showed these techniques helped reduce depression from over 40% of the participants. Essentially, mindfully running helped people focus in the moment and only on the task at hand, which allowed them to get past their stress, worries, and issues with the day and just focus on benefiting themselves. Although this is only a summation of our extra research we did as a Jayhawk team, we felt like these were the vital points that needed to be mentioned to you, because these studies and stories from those who practice mindfulness and their success was the start of us feeling like the addition of a mindful lifestyle to Head for the Cure's brand would be very beneficial.
Very interesting. Thank
So
you.
as Lauren has just presented, we conducted a lot of research on mindfulness and ideas related to our campaign outside of our initial class research. In addition, we also wanted to look at the research we compiled about Head for the Cure and where it stands right now. Some of the strengths we noticed were Head for the Cure's clear mission, its strong leadership and board, its strong Kansas City-based network, and the growing number of Head for the Cure 5Ks across the United States. Some weaknesses are that Head for the Cure is lacking a national presence, it lacks resources other larger nonprofits have. In terms of funding, it relies on a few large donors as opposed to a consistent community of smaller donors, and there's a lack of engagement on social media platforms. Some opportunities we think Head for the Cure has is the potential for partnerships with other organizations and brands, attaching Head for the Cure to a larger movement like mindfulness, and finding creative ways to increase donations from current supporters. Some threats are unpredictable and national global events like this pandemic or recession, the popularity of other 5Ks, other brain cancer and brain tumor nonprofits, and other nonprofits in general taking away donations. Now we'll go ahead and talk about tactics and strategies. Our team scanned our research to find the best insights to fuel every big idea, which then helped us develop the most logical and unique strategies that will serve Head for the Cure well. Our 3 tactics work well together and separately. They consist of subscription donations, revamping the 5K experience, and brand partnerships. First up is subscription donations. In our research, we found that consumers have shifted their buying habits, preferring membership to ownership. This change brings reliability and predictability to donations. For example, when donating through a subscription service, consumers do not need to reconsider their purchase every month or year, which creates a simpler purchasing thought process. But it's important to remember that an essential element to the success of this tactic is an immediate response to the donor that thanks them for each and every donation.
Next is the 5K experience. Like Lauren mentioned earlier, research has proven that mindfulness can go hand in hand with physical activity. Taking a moment to pause, reflect, and focus on your breath before running can be beneficial to your overall performance, and it can help you become more in touch with the present moment. We believe by taking a mindful moment before beginning each Head for the Cure race, participants can focus on why they're running and also remember the cause. During this time, Head for the Cure 5K participants could also set a mantra or a short phrase like, I am strong, I am capable, I run for joy, I run for hope, I run for Head for the Cure. This is something that could be repeated while they're running to stay centered and motivated. By doing these things, Head for the Cure can slowly implement mindfulness into its brand. We also know that people are motivated by music, so we thought it would be a fun idea to introduce Head for the Cure 5K playlists. These could be listened to throughout the race together in sync. Or if Head for the Cure continues to do virtual races, we thought this was another fun way to stay connected. The Head for the Cure brand is centered around joy and hope, and we wanted to create an activity that emphasizes these values. So the Head to Your Joy board is something that each 5K participants can contribute to by writing down one thing that brings them joy. Hopefully this board would be big enough to stand in front of, take and share photos of, and participants could use the hashtag Head for the Cure, What's Your Joy, to sustain the Head for the Cure brand image while also strengthening overall awareness. The idea for this board is centered around sparking a positive movement and focusing on the joy and the good that is present in our lives and encouraging others to do the same.
next piece of our execution is an idea that can also help in benefiting our previous two tactics. While websites aid in initial awareness and engagement, in order to effectively thrive in our technologically heavy market, mobile apps are key to development and success. This success would look like expanding your target audience, opportunity to personalize your branding, creating convenience for current and future participants or members and their experience, as well as simplify and improve communication. As you can see, this can improve race day as well as everyday communication.
We all get by with a little help from our friends, and that phrase rings true when it comes to brand partnerships. And since strangers are just friends you haven't met yet, allow us to introduce you to Core Power Yoga. This studio exudes fun and joyful energy while maintaining the calm necessary for mindfulness. With over 230 studios in 23 states, Core Power has the nationwide reach and saturation Head for the Cure seeks to capture. This also allows Head for the Cure to capture a different demographic than those that would run a 5K. Possible partnership strategies include creating a nationwide day of yoga, mindfulness retreats, and giving campaigns that are further outlined in our plans book. But with 55% of consumers willing to pay more for companies that are socially conscious, Core Power can feel confident this symbiotic relationship will enrich their brand as well.
As we introduce these new themes and tactics, it is important for Head for the Cure to incorporate them by enhancing their brand image through social media platforms and their website consistently. With social media platforms, we suggest content centered around mindfulness and wellness to slowly incorporate these themes into Head for the Cure. Mindful Mondays, the hashtag previously mentioned, and increasing video and photo content can aid in creating a consistent feed. In addition, Head for the Cure's website, along with Brains for the Cure, continues to serve as the foundational platform for its community, so we believe it is crucial to remain cohesive and manageable for all who visit. Donation navigation and role-based content will create a more personal connection to site visitors and allow them to easily find the content they are looking for. As I spoke about social media, the website could also gain a lot from encouraging video and photo content pertaining to both the 5K and mindfulness on the websites.
As a class, we provided Head for the Cure with a client agreement declaring 3 key purposes that we had planned to execute through our individual campaigns. Now that we have walked you through the execution of our tactics, we want to show you the purposes in action with our strategies.
Our first purpose was to increase revenue growth. For this section of the goal, we suggested a donor subscription that allows supporters to sign up to donate a specific amount on a recurring basis. We also believe that a partnership with a mindfulness brand like Core Power Yoga would increase revenue by providing new opportunities for people to hear about and get involved with Head for the Cure.
Our second purpose was to strengthen relationships and continued giving. We suggested implementing mindfulness and wellness into Head for the Cure. This will allow new audiences to be reached.
Our final purpose was presenting a revamped donation strategy, some fresh ideas that tie mindfulness into the 5Ks, and a strategy to streamline Head for the Cure's social media and website branding. We are grateful to have worked with an organization with such a wonderful message to share.
Before we open up for questions, we'd like to thank some important people that have played key roles into the success of our campaign. Allison Long, David Johnston, Harry Campbell, Head for the Cure, Jan Eric Anderson, Jenna Heilman, John Holt, Lindsay Santee, Matt Anthony, and VML Wyandar.
Thank you for saying thanks. It's nice.
Yeah, we've really enjoyed this time with you all, and at this time we would love to answer any questions that you have.
I really appreciate the combination of thoughtfulness and play on words with mindfulness and the health aspect of it. I think as we continue to have patients who experience a variety of treatment plans, especially with those who look at diet and exercise, and I don't know if you saw the clip from Matt Mendelik, who's now an 11 or 12-year survivor, in his efforts in healthy living and how he feels like that's propelled his health and safety. And I feel like it's an area that we can definitely play on without providing necessarily anything treatment base for it, by just more of the positivity and joy and that kind of emotion behind it, and what that can look like for patients who are in the middle of their fight, and kind of expanding that feeling across the board is important.
Yeah. Harry, I'll let you go. I'll go last on this one. Harry, you still there? Mr. Campbell?
Damn it, I was on mute.
Okay.
You should have heard what I said. It was brilliant too.
I'm sure it was.
Thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And going back to Matt's comment about the slides and the color, you all, as we were saying that, were thinking, okay, we got that. And you did. I can't stop thinking about words that matter when you do a presentation like this. And your insight with regard to joy and mindfulness mattered. I thought they were excellent. You did several things that tied into them. The flow was great. You're very logical in the way you presented. I thought, just from a pure presentation standpoint, this is the one I felt was the strongest and tied in the best overall. So thank you. And the 3 or 4 things at the end where you talked about really made me think. I don't know anything about core power yoga, but if we could find somebody that's that closely tied to the keywords that we matter about and that we try to drive, I mean, how could that not be good? We'd love to have Sonic, we'd love to have Southwest Airlines, but if you have somebody that has to do with taking care of your mind and body in a way that a retail chain of yoga, I assume that's what it is, would do. So this was good. You all made it very easy to listen. Thanks.
Yeah, it's I'll just pick up on a little bit of that. So first, Harry and I, in many ways, are cut the same, and that is everything is a competition. And by the way, Jen is the same way, and including our own competition. But and that really is true. There is no winner. Everybody did a great job today. I also found this very easy to listen to, and you guys were well rehearsed. You connected with each other. There was great balance and your time on stage. You agreed going in to have an aesthetic, not only to the presentation but to the presenters, and the joy piece. So words evoke emotion, and Head for the Cure. And by the way, wherever your career goes in marketing, this goes to the whole class. It's the best business in the world. You chose the right curriculum path if you want to be in an environment that is exhilarated by the creative process, and where you find the psychological connection to motivate people to take an action. That's what Head for the Cure is about in every single dimension, which is why, Harry and I, lifelong marketers, and, Jen has built a team of people. Her whole world is how to storytell. I mean, that's all we do is, we make a promise and we tell a story. And so I too love the mindfulness piece. And Jenna, I was thinking the exact same thing. What would make that even so much better is to find, and he's right there, and there's a whole chapter of videos around the vitality of exercising and eating well and living right as a means to positivity. And so that would only be enhanced by saying, Dr. Mendlick and there are 4 or 5 other people, this is what they're experiencing in their connection to Head for the Cure as a mindfulness truth. So that's a notion there. Another comment I want to make, Brianna. So this matters, guys. So Brianna, your words, now they connected. Jenna's heard this, life without hope is life without joy. That's sort of a mantra of mine. And it's a mantra of Head for the Cure. And you sort of deliver that in a set of words that I want those. So
they're yours.
And that was, and everybody else can connect with that. And by gosh, I don't know if you personally art directed, all of you guys, but Brianna especially, You had your face was framed right in the center of your string of lights behind you, and everybody was authentic, but that especially set a tone. So it was great. The only other enhancement, and this is true for everybody, when you're presenting the tactics, the ideas, give me a screenshot, the mobile app, show Head for the Cure on that. Brand awareness, show the partnerships. But those are nuances, and everybody, I could comment about that. But thank you. Thanks to the whole group.
Let me add one more mundane thing with regard to presenting itself. I do keynote speeches, and you have to finish strong. You have to, because as I learned from Sam Walton, the final 3 minutes of your stay in the entire store could dictate whether you're pissed off or not when you're walking through the parking lot, even if you had a great experience. And in presenting, finishing strong means simply looping back to what you said at the beginning. That means why you have to start strong, tying it in, not repeating, but summarizing and ending, period. And it is so important that you do that. It can make mediocre stuff great. It could make great stuff even greater, et cetera. It's a must to do. And I felt like we had a lot of that today. I will tell you once again that maybe 1912 was just a good year, but it worked.
Yeah, it did. And I think that's right. Because with everybody, I can go back to every presentation, and there are a couple memory pegs that really stuck out. And I'm thinking, so as you guys were presenting your string of ended with I run for Head for the Cure and everything leading up to that, I'm thinking I do a headstand for Head for the Cure. And that's, when you find ideas that are drawn to other ideas, or brain freeze for Head for. So every presentation tonight had a couple of memory pegs that are really sticky. And I think if this were aggregated into one, hour-long presentation, taking elements of each, we'd have something really, really strong. I do think the manifesto sort of anthemic words that Brianna told are really powerful, and that sticks with me big time. And a couple of other if this is okay, I know we're running long, and then Jen, you can I just want to make one other sort of broad comment.
It's 5th of May, bro.
This is just, I can't help it, but if you want to share a teaching moment, remember I did 6 semesters of the capstone for the business school, this class. And so you guys spent the semester embracing Head for the Cure. And I think I felt with everybody, I don't know how many of you there are, 30 of you, brought that home, and I appreciate that. It means the world to Jen and I and Harry, and so thank you. We are not they, we are not them, we are we. That's a hard thing, but every presenter sort of reflected on Head for the Cure in the third person rather than in the first person. Do you understand what I mean by that? And so now that's a hard thing because you were introduced to Head for the Cure 4 months ago. You don't work for Head for the Cure, but you do in this context. And so when you're presenting, as you go forward and become rich and famous in your careers in advertising and marketing and nonprofit, remember that, because it makes a special connection that you feel like, wow, so it's a nuance. But it really evokes that absolute connection, and the more you connect with whoever if you're presenting to Wendy's, you talk about how much you love burgers, and you present to AMC theaters how much you love movies, and so that's just a little thing to sort of keep in mind. That's my memory peg to you, that we're connected, and that's something taking away in this age of pandemic, and how socialization and presenting and connecting, you have to find a way to do that going forward, and the power of your words and the presentation of those words and the organization and the clarity and the that matters huge. So I'm overall, great job to the whole team. thank you. I don't know, Janet, do you want to make any closing comments?
Yeah, I was going to say, I really, what I loved about each presentation is the fact that there seemed to be
I'm drinking wine now, by the way.
a pie in the sky idea of something great that we can do of extreme magnitude. And then there were also realistic, tangible items. And I feel like that's a really fantastic way to approach your strategy, because there are always, especially in nonprofit, when dollars matter and people's times matter and resources matter, to be able to strategize, how do we do things that are within our grip? And then how do we extend that to make something even bigger and better? And I feel like each presentation had both those qualities, and that shows a great innovation as well as a great realization to what is attainable in the immediate need. And that's something that we as an organization, and every organization in this environment, in this pandemic, are trying to do. How do we continue our mission in this environment, and then how do we make ourselves relevant for future years? And so I really applaud all of you for thinking in both those aspects, whether you realized it or not, because that is how you are successful with your plans, is letting the client see what is something that can be done and what do we aspire to do. So congratulations for accomplishing those two very different and oftentimes complicated ideas.
So much so that I can't wait to get copies of the presentation so we can inventory all the. So Jen and I we're going to meet tomorrow. Harry, you got to pull you in because we got to debrief this stuff. There's just a lot of really good ideas that I think will likely see the light of day. You know, that's quite likely. So.
Tremendous. This feedback has been great. We've obviously transitioned kind of into the overall overarching comments. We've had a couple of guests joining us, Allison Long and Jan Eric Anderson, who helped the class. I wonder if you guys would like to provide any just overall feedback to the students on your experience. Allison, I'll start with you.
Well, I'm just happy to be part of it, and it was great to hear all these great ideas. I know there's a fabulous team at Head for the Cure that will take that, and like Matt said, I'm sure there's some really great things that they'll utilize. I love that you all picked up the joy of what Head for the Cure brings. There's a lot of loss and there's a lot of grief with brain tumors, and Matt and I know that really personally, but there's so much joy that comes from it, and that's the feeling that we get when we're there. And I think people take away that makes this organization really unique, and I think you saw that, and you're focusing on that as you expand and use these great marketing things. So happy to be a part of it, and thanks for letting me share in this evening.
Thanks so much, Allison. That's awesome.
Yeah, hey, and I'll just chime in really quick. I've been texting each of the groups as they finished, didn't want to distract them, give them some feedback, but I think you guys all did a great job. You heard comments that the storytelling was great. The ideas were solid. I couldn't be prouder of you guys. I think you guys did a great job. And congratulations, it's over, and it's Cinco de Mayo, and the bars might not be open, but I'm sure you can find another way to celebrate. So congratulations on a great semester.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks. And before we wrap this up and I kind of close out the evening, I'll turn the floor back over to the clients. Any parting thoughts for this graduating class of 2020, the journey we've been on? I know it's not ending the way any of us imagined, but you know, I can't thank you guys enough for beginning that journey with us this semester, not knowing where it would go. Any parting thoughts for
I might just, a word of encouragement about, what I said earlier, that this is all about the study of human behavior and trying to create a connection that's meaningful. And we get to do that at Head for the Cure. And the world of advertising and marketing does it in every dimension, connecting people to brands. And I think everything we're going through makes that even more important, finding the connection of what's good for others and good for the planet and good for humanity. And so I would just encourage you to pursue that. And don't get discouraged, I guess I would say, and I'm sure David's been sharing that a lot. You're fresh college grads in a week or so, and you have finished very strong, and you know, the job market's going to be rough for a little while, but you know, stay determined and don't be afraid to try things. Try things that will give you experience, and think about what you experienced, especially in this semester, which sort of pulled in all your academics into a practical, you know, real life situation, and apply that. And I hope that when you are interviewing, and that interviewer asks you for a sample of your work, that the work that you did over the past 4 months on behalf of Head for the Cure is something you're proud of, that you can hold up and say, let me show you the work I did for a nonprofit that I felt a real connection to. Because I felt that in today's experience, and if I were a prospective employer, I would want to know you're part of that. When they ask for writing samples or ask for samples of that work, this is your property. This is your intellectual property. This is your truth. This will help carry you to the next step. So that's what I would leave you with. Stay positive, and know that you're going to find your way to the finish line.
I would like to say a couple things. One is I know that this has been a challenging last few months, and the experience that we all collectively thought we would have in communication and things really got interrupted physically, and time capabilities and all of those things. You all took what limited knowledge you were given without ever experiencing a true Head for the Cure 5K event like you were going to in Austin, and you really embodied the emotion and the spirit and the intention behind everything that we do. And that is really commendable, to be able to capture that and translate that back to us as the client, but most importantly, to the people who are here to help kind of guide and provide that perspective. So congratulations on that. That alone, for anybody, let alone someone who is in your young 20s, to be able to do is phenomenal. And as Matt said, as you all are transitioning and translating what you have learned in college, this, along with any internships or jobs that you've had, is the best chance to show that not only do you understand the concepts of what it's like to be a journalism, mass communications student, but also how you can showcase what it's like to use that in the real world. That real world component, and the ability to analyze, and the ability to make a real impact, is something that a lot of people in your position won't have. So use that to your advantage, and storytell of what you all can do so well for why you are the best candidate for your next endeavor. And that will get you far. And that's something that as Matt said, it's never easy to be a small fish in a big pond, as you all are, as you leave KU and go on to your first professional experience. But you all have shown the maturity, the ability to analyze, the ability to strategize, and have big intangible ideas that any company, organization will be happy to have as a part of their team. So congratulations. I'm not a KU fan, but I'm excited that you all are. I know, I'm sorry, I can't leave without saying that, but you know, rock chalk to all of you all, and I support all of your efforts, and you all are representing KU very well, and I have nothing but phenomenal hope and faith in all of you that you're going to take your experiences and translate that into an amazing professional career, professionally and then personally, in developing yourselves as strong adults in the community. So thank you all for your support and your efforts.
Thank you, Jenna. Should we give the last word to Harry? Is that wise?
It's never happened.
Never. I actually don't have anything to add. I just sent a private chat to David and said, this was so cool. I've never done anything like this before. And I've been involved in presentations and mock presentations for raising money, but nothing like this before. And I love new experiences, and you all made it very cool. And I'm anxious to share it with the other folks about ideas and stuff. But more than anything, I want to reiterate, I'm connected with about 8 or 10 of y'all on LinkedIn. There's no reason why you don't send me a request. I'll say yes. And that might make a difference at some point. You're looking for a job. I have 6,200 contacts, and I let people who are first contacts troll my contacts. And if you want me to introduce you to somebody, just ask. Life is for the askers. Be polite. If the answer is no, then move on. But if life is for the askers, as long as you're polite. And I'm in the Kansas City region. If you want to stay in the area, that matters. So Matt and Jenna and David would help you in any way you can also. But I don't work, so I got a lot of time for social media. And I got a 23 and a 25-year-old, so I got to keep up with them. Damn. I don't do any Snapchatting, though. They told me that's not cool anymore.
No, it's not. So.
Well, guys, this has been a wonderful experience. I know I can speak on behalf of the students. I can't thank you enough for the support you provided, not only in terms of providing a meaningful challenge, but also the support you gave to the students along the way. Open access, your feedback, your comments, your guidance, recognizing that this is an educational process. But hopefully there were some ideas in there that made you think. And at the end of the day, that's what we were trying to do, is make a difference in your world, because you certainly made a difference in ours. I want to end by going back and sharing my screen again. And I want to remind everybody why we're doing it. It's this group right here. You know, the challenge, I told them on the first day of class that the challenge was any of these guys could have put together a strategic campaign on their own. But that wasn't the challenge of the class. The challenge was to do it in teams and in groups, coming together around a common purpose. And that challenge was made infinitely more difficult by virtue of the fact that they couldn't meet in person for the second half of the semester. No other campaigns class in history has had to deal with the kind of challenge that this class dealt with, and I think effectively met. You'll hear me say, and it's been said already by Matt, this is going to go down as the most resilient class in KU history. So, you know, I want to start by, or conclude by saying, students, or I should probably refer to you as graduates at this point. I want to be among the first to officially congratulate you on becoming alumni. None of us could have envisioned how this was going to turn out when we started, and no one, particularly me, wanted your KU experience to end like this, remotely in a Zoom presentation session. You guys deserve to be celebrated in the greatest way possible in a giant auditorium with friends and family seeing these presentations, and they will. But yeah, you deserve to be celebrated in the greatest way possible. When you celebrate tonight, and I believe you deserve to celebrate tonight, please do so safely. And in closing, I'm not gonna sing for you guys, but I do want to end tonight with one more video. It's probably one that you've seen before. It includes a song, and maybe it's a song that you've sung before, but it may seem a little bit different to you now, maybe even a little bit bittersweet than when you first learned it as a freshman. So with that in mind, I'm going to invite you guys to lift the chorus, ever onward. Take pride in what you do. Hail to the class of 2020. KU is proud of you.
Neighbors embraced, voices unified. Vistas evoked of a sunlit riverfront, an expanse of Kansas sky. Our alma mater, crimson and the blue.
The
First chapters, final lines. A united front made from thousands of friends. All share the same sound. A simple melody, humble poetry, soul-stirring resonance. Soon, you'll dedicate its lyrics to memory, know the rise and fall of its tune, but first, you have to claim it, because now, it's your anthem. Lift the chorus ever onward, crimson and the blue. Hail to thee, our alma mater. Hail to old KU.
David, if you'll allow, I would like to also acknowledge how lucky the students are to have an instructor like you. As a leader going through this time, I know how hard it is to try and inspire other people to continue their mission and their efforts, and to lead a group of graduates who could easily end their time today feeling like they were robbed of something. I feel like everybody feels gratefully as appreciative towards you and helping them navigate this experience, and celebrating everything that they've been able to accomplish. And that's because of instructors like you. So thank you very much for all that you do.
Well said. Echo.
Thank you so much. Everyone, celebrate safely tonight. You deserve it. Thank you to our clients. Thank you to our alumni and guests. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Good luck to everybody.
Turn your tassels.
Hope to hear from some of you.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.